Well, he got swarmed.
Oh, he went the whole time in the store. No one, people, looked and
How
had
did you keep
suspicion.
that to yourself?
I kept him in the back of the store. So,
He tries to be like, I know you.
and then over my headset, right before he was fixing to leave and check out and everything, over my headset, I had told my boss, I was like, I'm giving you a heads up. Matthew McConaughey is coming up there. He's going to be checking out with his credit card. Please do not make a big scene. And, all I hear over my headset is all my other coworkers, you're sitting here telling me we've had him in the store the whole entire time. And
So
I was
you
like,
legit hung out with Matthew McConaughey?
And I hung out with the guy who does the commercials for the Jägermeister over in England.
Yeah, you told me.
I don't know that guy.
That dude, I'm not gonna lie, he is fine as fuck.
He is.
I got in
Wanna
trouble
bring him
because
up?
I got in trouble at work because we didn't take a
Should
picture
bring
with
up a
him.
picture of him?
That's the first thing you hear.
So what's going on, guys? Welcome.
So apparently Ash hung out with Matthew McConaughey. Let's go
No,
with this.
they
one.
hold that whole story. We've been live ever since she started that story.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just feel bad
Was
for
that
him.
the only celebrity you ever met? Oh, I'm not
No.
downplaying me, Matthew McConaughey, because that's the epic.
Well, now he's stuck teaching stupid kids at UT in
Yeah.
Austin.
Stupid kids.
He's a college professor for history or something.
In Austin.
Yeah.
Not
When-
McConaughey.
Why? When did this
He's
happen?
a theater teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a college theater and theater arts prep teacher.
He's like, alright, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to be downright handsome.
Right?
So y'all can leave.
You gotta get a catchy tone. You gotta have
Get a
one
catchy
catchy
tone.
line. You know, they got the
Alright.
Patrick Swayze that says Roadhouse. That was his first catchy ass line.
Yeah, Patrick Swayze's first?
His catchiest one was probably Roadhouse. Or you don't put baby in a
Yeah,
corner.
I was about to say.
That was the
I was like,
first
I
one
would
I
think-
heard
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah.
First one I ever heard from him was Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Oh,
The first one I heard was nobody puts baby in a corner.
and a lot of people forget he was in Red Dawn too.
A lot of people forget that he was like 35 and she was supposed to be 16, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's true.
Thanks for making that creepy. I can't find it. Apparently there's been a lot of people for Jägermeister.
Let me see if I can find it.
Welcome. If you can't tell, we are significantly earlier than normal.
How about, did we even tell people we were going to be on
I
early?
did.
I
Seems to
did
be down. Yeah, I didn't either.
not. We'll see how this pans out.
People are going to tune in at 11. What the fuck? The recap.
Right? So, as always, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Business 01.
Macaulay.
Okay, Bash.
And,
This color, no damn E.
Mister.
yeah.
Come on now.
It's got to be spelled out
Yeah, it's
properly.
class.
Somebody's got to bring class around here.
Yeah, because it's not any of us.
Nope. So, do you want
Have
to
you ever
tell
met
them
a
how
celebrity?
the,
Have you ever met any celebrity?
Surprisingly, I've actually met a few.
Yeah? What was
At-
your,
at
what was your
one-
favorite one?
It was this guy, Donnie Lewis.
I don't see
Not
it.
my type.
I don't see it.
Well, he's
He looks like he wears lipstick in his bedroom while taking it up the rear.
Wow.
Aw.
that's
Somebody got jelly.
No, just that's what he looks like. He wears eyeliner and lipstick and takes it up the rear.
Like,
Profile.
was it Steve Buscemi and Billy Madison? Is it Steve Buscemi? He's putting lipstick on, holding the
Yeah.
shotgun.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
He always plays characters like that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I will always respect him.
No,
No
great
matter
actor.
what.
Oh,
Steve was it Buscemi?
Buscemi?
Buscemi,
Oh.
something like that.
He's the one that does the.
yeah.
Hey, where's
His crazy eyes and
Yeah.
Big Daddy.
Yeah. Because when he's not acting, he's actually a volunteer firefighter. And he was one of the first responders and one of the first guys into one of the towers on 9/11. I think they said he rescued like 21 people out of the towers.
Oh, really? I didn't know that about him.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. After finding that out, like I don't care what role he's ever gonna be in, I will always have respect for that man.
That's pretty cool. Wow. Such a crazy day that day.
But as you can tell, we're actually trying to do this early today, and so far, knocking on wood here.
Everything seems
It's
to be-
working.
That's right, because last time when the fucking internet cut out.
And then we tried to do it. We're gonna do it early again, and then the stove cut out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It went out over there. Oh, okay. It's back up.
No, yeah, that's them. That's not us.
I was
So
gonna
I
say,
So all they're seeing is the buffering.
So
Yeah,
I
that's Twitch. That's not us.
I saw a game that I might be interested in playing.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it?
I was all like, I totally need to get Bash to pronounce that.
Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
Sushimi.
Sushimi. Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
No,
because
it's
I saw it
Tsushima.
on. No, I was watching a video on it, and they said sushimi, and to me, I was like, okay, sushi and yeah.
But no, if you load up, I have the game.
sashimi.
I have the game. If you start it up, it says Ghost of Tsushima.
Really?
Yeah.
Wolf King said our volume's low. Really
Bro,
low.
my volume's all the way up, and y'all sound a little quiet.
Was it this
Yeah.
one?
I can fix that.
Oh, you fixed it from there.
Jeremy, I forgot to tag you in the post. I'm sorry, brother.
Dude, yeah, but that game is getting like crazy awesome reviews across the board.
Yeah,
Have you seen
it
it
popped up
yet?
on my.
Dude, I've got to play it. Like, apparently, so from the way that I understand that it plays, is it plays like Assassin's Creed 1. You have no HUD, you have no map, nothing. It's just you. The tutorial is a quick little button mapping thing. That's it. The rest is learn as you go, and if you need directions, you whistle, and the wind picks up and it blows leaves in the way you're supposed to go.
Yeah. See, I've heard about that.
Huh.
But yeah, apparently it's supposed to be like one of the best games since like God of War.
But I have it on the PS4. Well,
Nice.
because Hayden has it. But and he's been trying to get me to play it so that way we could do the multiplayer at some point. Because you could run with a team of 4.
Mm,
Well, I'm down to start out on that one while everybody's on an even keel.
nice. Well, I'd have to buy it. But
I tried playing Halo last night. I could not get into it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that lasted a good 20 minutes.
No,
I heard you
shut
laugh
up.
like 3 times, and that was about it.
No, dude, I was in tears. Like
Mm.
I was in tears. I was laughing so hard.
Why didn't you like it?
Her biggest thing is now she's learned how to aim down sights on a game, and now she doesn't like it when she
Hey,
can't aim down sights.
Shinurgen. Wait, you're playing Halo, right?
Well, we started Halo Reach.
Right.
Yeah,
That's still
'cause-
first person though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them are. Except
And you don't like the first person, or what was it?
No, she doesn't like not being able to ADS.
Oh, well, come on.
Yeah, because in Halo, until Halo 4, you
Uh-huh.
can't actually aim down sights like Call of Duty.
Hmm.
It's always like it's all hip fire.
Right, right.
Unless you have the sniper rifle, the pistol, or the battle rifle.
But it still gives you a crosshair, no?
yeah.
Mm. But it's
I mean,
Yeah, it's just tiny, it's reticle.
there are a few guns that you can do ADS on, but I'm just, I don't know. It was different.
yeah. So, what? Last night we played about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
About 2. Well, yeah, hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're already halfway through Reach.
You mean once we finally got everything to work?
Yeah.
Halfway through what?
Reach.
Halo Reach.
Oh, really?
So 1 and 2, you can only play 2-player co-op, no matter what. 3, Reach, Otst, and 4.
No, Wolf King, they didn't introduce ADS until Halo 4 for every gun. 3 is when they introduced like very few guns you could. But
1, 2 was pistol and sniper rifle only.
mm,
Not even your rocket launcher had ADS. And
Oh.
in Reach, your rocket launcher has ADS when you're. But
well, Not really. It's like a weird hybrid.
Yeah, because it puts it up, and if you click your sight,
It just opens your HUD.
yeah, it puts the scope in
Yeah.
it, like the targeting system on. It's been a while since I played too. I had to shake off the rust.
It didn't take me as long as I thought.
No, it took me like that first mission. After that, I was like, all right, I got plasma grenades, I got a shotgun. This is Sparta, and
Yeah.
ran straight
I
in.
know. What was it? I think it was the last one that we did. Man, oh, me and Ash they get fucking ruined, like right out of the gate. Because they go, you drop, and then you basically have to like storm this area to get into the next part. That game wasn't happening.
I went through campaign.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Rudy and I are on the other side yelling at each other because we're not shooting the tank.
We just couldn't get past the fucking.
Well, first we couldn't get back past the turrets, and then we couldn't get past the wraiths, and finally we did it, and we were good after that, but fucking hell, that thing gave us hell.
See, when we died once against the Wraiths, and then I remembered I can mount the Wraith
Mm-hmm.
and beat the hell out of it with your fist. I was
Well,
like, punching it to
For
death.
me, it wasn't even that, because if you get behind it, you can fucking drop a grenade in the turbine
Yeah.
and just kill it. So I started doing that.
No, I would just jump on front, I'd punch the door open, yank the guy out, and hop in it. That's how we took care of it, and then we got to that, we all stopped on the same mission,
Mm-hmm.
but the last part of it would do with the energy sword.
Never had a problem with it.
He
But,
kept
but I
wrecking
also
Rudy and I.
I also know where to get the shotgun on that.
But what were you guys playing on? That was the other thing we were gonna ask you guys. What difficulty? Because we were
It's-
playing on heroic.
It's whatever you set it up as.
It's a smart game.
Heroic.
Yeah, so
Because Rudy was like, "This is not in normal mode." I was like, "No." When it's taking 2 or 3 shots to kill a grunt.
mhm.
So I ran into this interesting fact the other day, and I made sure to take a picture of it because of his obsession with Napoleon. Apparently, we know what Napoleon smelled like because he would constantly order multiple bottles of cologne that he would spread on himself with a brush. The cologne is called 4711, and the same recipe is still used today.
What the fuck?
Huh.
So you can smell like Napoleon if you want.
I don't have that big of an obsession. I want to kick his ass. I didn't.
No, I know.
I don't idolize the
To
dude.
feel your to feel your anger.
Go back in time and just
But
have
he
the
would-
smell on
He
me.
would put it on with a brush?
Well, I'm assuming like they're out there. They're not taking showers daily.
But still, with a brush?
Who?
I don't know.
Did you look this cologne up?
They don't, no, I didn't. I thought that would. I was like, if anything, we're gonna look this up while I bring this up.
Yeah.
Spam.
Yeah, because that's
But for
weird.
some reason,
Did I
I
give you that
imagine
picture?
it smells like Jacquard Noir. But it's just because I hate that cologne.
Speaking of that, check
What?
this, man.
Pricey?
Yeah,
How much?
it's bad.
Like how much?
You can
Is
get
it up
at-
on the screen?
You can get it at Walmart for $10.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you. It
Wow.
has to smell like some
4711 Napoleon's clone.
What does 4711 cologne smell like? Okay, so it starts this little thing with what does 4711 cologne smell like? 4711 is not a terrible scent.
Okay.
So it's a terrible scent.
Right.
And actually smells more modern to me than it does old. It's bitter lime citrus with a hint of musk. Smells slightly like some kind of cleaning fluid for the first couple of minutes, and then it settles down to a sour musk.
Oh wow.
None
I
of
love
that
odor. I like-
smells
yeah.
appealing.
Smells like Lysol, and then it turns into
You know.
Old English.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of milk. Cool.
yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Like
So we got Subway earlier, right? And your daughter gets the tuna with pickles. And I'm like, I pulled the sandwich out and I smelt it. I was like, yep, it smells like my ex-wife. Here you go. Cheers.
Wow.
Maybe one of those jokes we don't tell.
We're muffled, apparently.
So,
Did something get hit on this
we
that
should
we don't know
totally
of?
go. Whatever.
Apparently we're muffled still. How do we sound on that?
I can do this.
Yeah, apparently. Like, blue.
Well, I don't know. Is John speaking towards our mic or towards yours?
No, I always just speak towards this one.
That sounds normal to me.
I think it's John that sounds muffled.
It might be John that's muffled because he's far away.
That
I don't think the table's as close to you as it usually is. Because I kind of just pulled it straight back.
Ding ding.
Mostly TK, yeah. That's what David said. You're the one that's muffled.
See, that's weird.
Well, we're also not as close to you as we usually are.
Well, he can just pull the mic closer to him, can he?
No, because the mic's always there.
Yeah, just usually the table's
Yeah,
slid
the
down
table's
further.
usually further that
Oh,
way.
I don't know, whatever.
We could always
I'm
do a
a
little
producer.
shuffle.
Yeah. Do the wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
You did
Get
it,
the
Wiggle.
wiggle. But I'm the one that initiated the wiggle. Fucking Tarkov.
So today, one of my employees is leaving. The one that usually works in the morning. Yeah.
Which one?
The one that's usually on window in the mornings.
Okay.
Okay. So she's walking out. She drops like 85 cents in change. I'm not picking it up. She left.
Really? Like a final fuck you on the way out?
No, it wasn't. It was her money. She dropped her own money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I feel like you're missing the point of the story.
Lou's like, I don't. So I was like, okay. What's the point here?
I'm good to get a text, my baby. Yeah, there it is. Really?
There you go. That was the reaction I was expecting.
Oh shit!
I was just like, mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Me and Ariana were just looking at her like, it was funny though.
God damn.
But what else has been going on lately? You guys have been venturing out though? You guys have been going places or not so much?
Not too many. Just usually Walmart. We did have to travel across the town to go to GameStop because we had to hunt down controllers.
Yeah, I way to go to the northeast. Over off of
What kind of controller?
Rudy was looking for one for the Xbox.
And I needed a new PS4.
So I want to go look at the 360 games hopefully this week.
Go to the fountains.
Yeah.
They have a really good selection, and so does the one at Yarborough.
And they're doing 20% off of all their.
Because me and Adriana beat Army at Sue. I realized that was the first game she had ever beaten.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, awesome. So I need to go buy her another game.
Play Reach.
What's it?
Well, I mean, we have Gears, Army of 2.
I think I have Reach in my room.
Tekken. No, it's right here.
Oh,
Unless you guys got another copy of it.
I don't know. I have another Halo in my room. I know that. I have the Minecraft one too.
Oh, we got Gears.
Yeah, Gears.
Gears is fun.
I just been playing Grand Theft Auto.
We know.
You need to branch out, my dude.
That's why I want to try that game.
I mean, he's got Grand Theft Auto, she's got Destiny, but
I like GTA.
trying to get them to branch out to other ones is
Yeah.
like earlier. I was like, let's play some
What am
Fallout.
I branching out? But no, we'll see Fallout. But I think most of these are scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Because even when you're not here, we're here, but you might be asleep. And then I take off for the rest of the day and you guys stay up all
So
night.
just play it.
Nah, I said. It's a
He's
team
like
thing,
you.
man.
He
Yeah.
doesn't like playing video games alone by himself.
But he'll sit in the living room playing GTA for 7.5 hours by himself.
Well, so I know what I'm doing, I guess. I don't know.
Or like for like Destiny, I mean, you can jump on that. It's downloaded. You have all the DLC with it. So
Speaking of that, Ray, when we had gotten
oh god.
food earlier, she had jumped on Destiny, and I'm guessing she was doing one of her missions, right? She was trying so hard not to cuss or anything, and so she was like, "You piece of, I can't get through this."
She's
And,
like, I hate this game. Why is it so hard?
and
Well,
she,
it's like the other night she was like, Dad, I need your help. And I'm off somewhere else. I'm just fucking ruining stuff. And I was like, what's up? She's like, I'm surrounded by bandits and I can't get past them. I was like, all right. Fast travel to her. She's like, all right. Like I'm running up like behind her. She's like, there's two over that way. There's one that way, and I just run right past her. She's like, Dad, don't, yeah, smack, 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 smack. And after like 10 seconds, I was like, all right, you can come out. They're all dead.
but it was so funny. Like she was trying so hard not to say anything because she was like, "I don't want to get in trouble," but she was like, she pulled a Blue there for a moment the other night, a couple of days ago when we were on the show, and Blue was like,
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Wolf, I might take you up on that offer. I just gotta re-download it first.
Yeah, indeed. Because I've actually been thinking about getting
We
back into it.
we thoroughly enjoyed playing it. It's just
We didn't know
we-
what we were doing.
one, we didn't know what we were doing, but two,
Well,
just,
and you stopped playing it.
well, having just two people playing it, we usually can't do something together without a third or a fourth person for half the freaking raid missions that are on that.
Oh, good.
We got our ass kicked the one time we tried a really big boss dude. It was like, this is recommended for 3 to 6 players.
Yeah, but to be fair, we were also in a region we weren't supposed to be in.
That is true. We had a real big problem of venturing into a different region. I played Black Desert. Dead by Daylight, I gotta re-download that one. I enjoyed that one. But there's just so much crap they've added since I quit playing it.
"I'll be right back."
Yeah, BP, and it sounds like a lot of shit talking coming from you as usual. But no, I'd be down to play Black Desert. Totally down.
I'd re-download it.
I'd say get you into Black Desert, but it's a lot. Basically, it's like GTA 5, but it's like a fantasy version. But you actually like see every. It's like GTA 5 online, but a high fantasy version.
That's why I take random like screenshots of stuff I find online, like just to bring up in random moments. And remember the last time I was saying like, would you be scared of a minotaur? But I meant a centaur,
Mm-hmm.
half guy, half.
Yeah.
You think he runs around slapping his own ass to make himself go faster?
He has just one of those little
I
whips.
saw that online the other day. I was like, Jesus.
Oh, good guy.
I had to bring this up.
No.
No, we're talking about a
Centaurs.
minotaur, a centaur. Would you whip your own ass to make yourself go faster?
I don't know.
It's a good question. The world needs to know. I don't think I really screenshot anything recently.
No, the post I put up saying we were going live was the funny one about Aladdin.
Mm.
Did you see it, Blue?
Yeah.
I think the last thing that I screenshotted was what I posted in the group chat.
Which one?
The Pikachu and the Diglett.
That was so fucked up. But I could totally see it being true.
Wolf King in regards
Which
to
one
the
was this?
centaur. He'd be like, "Hi ho, Silver."
This is
So-
what I
So when
sent.
it comes to Pokemon, do you know who Diglett is?
No, no. I'm all
Okay,
like,
so basically it's like this little,
What is he
you know,
supposed to be, a
mole.
mole?
He's a
Yeah.
mole.
and it's just
Okay.
like a head that comes up.
So that's Diglett right here.
oh.
That's Pikachu. Diglett used Scratch. Well, he has no hands or claws.
And then poor Pikachu.
And then Pikachu's like,
Crying in the corner.
Did you play Pokemon?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's dude.
What did you start with?
Oh, I started with the first one.
No,
Pokemon
what
Red.
did you start with? Like between Magic, D&D, Warhammer. Did you ever play Warhammer actually?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the first game, or like nerdy game I played, I guess, was Magic the Gathering. I started that one in elementary school. After that, I started playing Mech Warrior on the tabletop before they discontinued it, and then from there I went to.
What was that, like HeroClix?
It is now, but
Yeah.
before it was like Warhammer with the miniatures, but it's like they were each to represent like that mech, but in like the stats and everything, like one of them, the Timberwolf stands at, I think it's like 140 meters tall.
Mm.
So it's like you had to imagine, okay, you've got this
Like I'm
mech
American, I have no idea what that means.
really really big.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I just started going through games and stuff like that. But Magic has always been a constant.
Mm. And you?
First game I started on playing was Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah. And
don't
I went
know.
to the state finals here, and they sent me to Austin for it. We played there. I finished second, and I quit after I played. Because then they started changing it and doing all the friggin' synchro summons and all this A plus B plus C plus Z equals this one creature, and you could do 10 different special summons in one turn as long as you did it in a specific order. I was like,
Like Yu-Gi-Oh's still around though, right?
oh yeah, and it keeps getting more and more complicated. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
Are there any games that have been discontinued like that? Like, cause did they kind of slow down with HeroClix? Didn't that one kind of just
Yeah,
go down?
I think HeroClix slowed down. Mech Warrior was completely discontinued. The pen and paper game and the tabletop war game, both of those were stopped. And then I want to say like 10 or 15 years later, it got bought by Wizards of the Coast, and it got re-released in like the HeroClix form.
Hmm.
We also did Beyblade a lot. They had tournaments for Beyblade everywhere.
What was
But-
that?
Beyblade, the spin tops, you could custom build
Ba-
them, add
basically, like-
weights.
So it's like a top.
Yeah.
You know, it has a holder with a ripcord on it, but you can put like all these little things on it and stuff like that. And there's the arena, like the arenas that are just big bowls.
Uh-huh.
You just rip the cord and you drop it, and you just watch them battle it out. It's like,
They would slam into each other, and like you had to custom, like you can custom make like the point on the bottom, the weight system for the top part, the plastic that came off the sides. You can add attachments to it so it would smack the
I
crap
don't
out of
remember that
yours.
at all.
It was a whole thing.
you know, like
Do you remember Pogs?
I remember
Oh,
Pogs.
dude, yeah.
Were you a Pog guy or marbles?
oh,
Yes, we just assumed your social class. And David, I'm gonna tap a monster for mana. I'm gonna tap my white monster for white mana.
but yeah, like
Don't worry.
like a lot of the games.
Remember Creepy Crawlies?
Yeah.
Pepperidge Farm does.
But no, like
What is it in Rick and Morty?
oh shit.
Damn it.
I don't fucking remember now.
And I swear we watched every one of those episodes about 30 times. Bro.
Yeah. But no, like a lot of those games. What was it? I think, like I thought that I heard about Yu-Gi-Oh getting discontinued, but then found out that it had kept going. It just wasn't as big. The same with Pokemon.
And they like constantly ban cards in every format.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
constantly bans on
Yeah,
this
dude,
stuff
for
you
all
can't
of
play.
those. Like Pokemon has its ban list. Yu-Gi-Oh has its ban list.
Once you
Magic
find
has
something
its-
that's broken.
Well, and one of the main reasons I even quit Yu-Gi-Oh to begin with out
Is
there.
that Cowboy?
Yeah.
What's up?
But one of the main reasons I quit Yu-Gi-Oh to begin with is because right after the state championship, they banned almost my entire deck. because it had an infinite loop combo with a specific amount of cards in it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I lost is because I gave up. Like, I didn't want to play anymore. I got bored. It's like, I could have won, but the guy was like, he wouldn't just give up. He had no way of beating me. Every time he'd kill one of my monsters, it would instantly trigger and summon another monster in the same spot.
And why weren't you able to finish it off?
Finish him off?
Oh, well, those are your words.
Because whenever a monster in Yu-Gi-Oh is summoned, you can attack with it the same turn, but you have to attack their monsters first. You can't just attack them directly. You have to,
Okay.
you have to destroy each one of their monsters. And he had the same kind of deck I did, just different monsters in it. Every time you'd kill one, it would spawn like 5 more. And every time you kill one of mine, it'd spawn 4 more. Mine were just really big. His were tiny little, like 0.
Meat
They had-
shields.
Good job,
Yeah.
little plans.
and it just wasn't going anywhere. We were there for like 3 hours. And I finally was just like, I quit. Like, I could have won if we kept dragging this out,
I think
because
that's the
he would have decked out.
process.
He would have decked out before I did, because every
I'm
time...
ready to go check on her to see. She might be tangled up or something. Or she might be out of water.
Should we pause?
No.
Meh.
What about you, Ash? What was the first one you started with?
I don't remember.
What got you started playing those games?
What, Pokemon?
Yeah.
It was just when I first started watching it, I started collecting the cards.
You're not wrong, David. I didn't watch the show very often.
Which,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
oh, no, I didn't.
I played the game, but I didn't watch it very much.
So you just got into it because you had a bunch of the cards?
I got into it because my neighbor, his son had a bunch of cards, and we sat down one day and I was looking through it, and I saw there's a card called Cuptic Guardian, and he became my favorite card. I was like, can I have this? And he's like, yeah, sure, take it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna build a whole deck. And he's like, okay. So we sat there and I built a deck, and then we played. I lost like 20 times because I had never played before.
Nice.
And then I started going to the card shop down the road from us, and then they started having tournaments, and I was buying cards, and I started building a deck. And the basis of the deck is it worked around warriors and spellcasters. So I had Dark Magician, I had Cuptic Warrior, Cuptic Guardian, like all these cards. And every time you would kill a spellcaster, it would special summon a warrior from my graveyard. Every time you kill a warrior, it would special summon a spellcaster from my graveyard. So my deck never ran out of cards. It just kept feeding my graveyard back into the field.
What got you playing them?
What?
Like nerdy games, I guess.
Aside from video games, for Magic, it was the art.
What's it?
The art,
Oh, okay.
like the card art.
Yeah, for sure.
I always saw cards that I thought were just awesome.
Hmm.
And I had a couple of friends that played it. So like on lunch, I would sit there and watch them, and like just the transaction back and forth kind of piqued my interest. So I asked them to start teaching me, and I mean it clicked. Like it just made sense.
That's cool.
Well, see, the first person to get me really, like, that first introduced me to Magic is Wolf King. He gave me my...
Amadeus Mozart?
He's the first one to introduce it.
Amatuma?
And he gave me a Ray... I think the first card I ever got from him, that he was like, here, you can have Ray of Dawnbreaker. Like...
That's so fucked.
And that's how I ended up having, like, a huge thing for angel cards. And then that's why most of my decks are based on angels. Like...
Oh, that's right, because
The first deck you gave me was a white
Yeah.
weenie angel deck.
yeah, that's right.
And every deck since I've had Rhea has
I
been
put
an
the white
angel.
weenie decks.
Hmm?
Stupid ass decks.
No, dude. Because I remember like helping to teach him because Mr. Beefy, who's in the chat, it was me, him, Chris, and a couple other people, and like he started coming out and stuff. And Beefy had this big table, like this, but more round.
Uh-huh.
And we'd all get out there at like 8 or 9 at night, and we would play till like 6, 7, 8 o'clock the next morning. And it would be everything from just free for all to fucking like two-headed ogre to like just the whole thing, and we did it every week. But yeah, so we started teaching him, and I told him, I was like, you know, if you need a deck, like I'll build one, and you know you can buy it off me for whatever. And I had this white Winnie deck with a bunch of angels in it, and just everything generated.
Yeah, everything brought back another angels.
And
Brought back angels,
dude, it
gained
was-
you life, gained you more
Yeah,
angels.
and then you had that enchantment that gave all your white creatures flying and
Life
lifelink.
link and
Yeah.
protection from a
it
specific
was,
color.
yeah, it
Shit
was, it was scary.
I mean, I see that deck come out. I'm like, all right, I got something for you. Pull up my red and green. That's what's up.
No, the one that I have now isn't nearly as terrifying as that one. Because it's like, you dropped a land, that thing generated 2 more mana on top of the one that it has naturally. And then every time you tap, you gain life. Every time you played a creature, you gain life. Every time a creature died, whether it was yours or theirs, you could have easy like 60, 70 life, turn like 5 or 6. And then you could have like 6 flying angels out on the board by like turn 3 or 4. Like dude, it was great.
And that's what the basis of my commander deck was built off of. Because
We need to bring that back. Though. We need to bring back some
Yeah.
magic.
I played with that deck. I had that deck for 3.5 years. Made some tweaks here and there whenever they put out new cards for it.
Yeah.
And then one day we were at Spawn Point playing. We all got up to go outside and smoke. We all left our cards sitting right there.
Does it reject you?
I came back and the whole deck was gone.
Well, you kind of had
Only
to come
mine.
No, that like the owner was a good guy.
Yeah, but I mean,
But-
the people that are around there,
But that's the thing. We knew
I'm like-
basically everyone
Yeah.
that was there every time, and
Yeah, but
we've always left
every
our cards
once
sitting
in a
out.
while, every once in a while, you'll get that one guy that comes in with somebody else. Next thing you know, everybody's missing something.
yeah.
Like we were there one time.
Yeah, cards walk for some reason when you go play at the shop.
Oh no, dude, no, it was more than that. Like the owner had an iPod that he had hooked up, and like that's what he would play music with.
No way, really?
Yeah, one day that went through and it was missing.
Dude, no, fuck that. I'm like,
Fucking-
what? Oh, and we didn't talk about that too. Talking to Tim, but if that shit happened at Tim's, and me and Red were there, that shit would not have made it
Yeah.
out the fucking door.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, and like the guy at Spawn Point, the owner, he went through all the camera feed, and you can see the dude walk by, and he just slides my deck off the table and puts it in his pocket as he's walking by, and I'm just like,
Did you know that I could see you?
well, and then they finally caught up with the guy, and the guy was like, yeah, I sold it. Motherfucker, I'm gonna beat you. I was like, you know what?
Did you?
No, because they wouldn't give me any of his information. They reported it to the police, but there was nothing the police were going to do about
Oh
cards.
no.
So I just went on. I went on
I got a
eBay.
story about that later, by the way.
I went on Card Kingdom and I bought
Cops and Magic
each
cards.
individual freaking card back, and that's what I ended up building. I built a whole new deck out of it, and then I built my commander out of that deck, and I just splashed red in it.
Yeah.
So now, not only do I gain life for every little thing you do, I come out swinging, and then I play Aurelia, and I get to do it 3 or 4 more times in one
But,
turn.
to Wolf King, you should get back into it. If you ever have the chance to come out, I've got what like 60,000 cards, and we've got a bunch of like decks made. And stuff
I
like that.
saw the deck. Somebody probably threw it away.
And to Beefy, you have no reason to talk shit. You're the one that likes to like rage quit out of a game when it doesn't go your way. So I don't want to hear shit about you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I feel like we should definitely start working on that too.
Well,
Maybe like a bi-weekly thing.
So-
Bi-monthly thing.
so I
whatever.
thought what we would do next week, and this is up to you guys. Brandon finished his finals this week. Mortimer Smith.
Yeah, he's supposed to be able to make it on
He-
Thursday.
He's gonna try to make it on Thursday. He said
Well,
if he can't,
More than likely Tuesday.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's what I was having because this is his week of finals.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, unless.
But on Thursday, he's probably going to want to unwind. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, and that's understandable. But him and I were having a conversation about starting the D&D thing. What I would like to do, and we don't have to do it Tuesday, and we were talking about this, is we can do a recording session and just record
Yeah.
the character creation process.
I'm all yeah. We can meet up on other days and
Yeah.
Oh,
when
yeah.
we record, you know.
See, and like all the D&D stuff, like we can pre-record it. Like we don't have to do it live.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what we were talking about too. Just if we're gonna do like the whole game thing, like we're gonna definitely have to edit that, but
Oh, yeah.
still release it somewhat regularly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of editing that you can really do unless we take breaks, because we will be taking breaks.
You will definitely
Because-
want to break
yeah.
because a D&D session is not
But,
2 hours.
but
Yeah.
even if we're doing that other the family night, like the board game
bingo and
night.
stuff. Yeah, I still say pre-record.
Like if
that.
we do a board game night, I feel like we should still edit that before.
Well, yeah, but like a D&D session, that's like 3 to 5 hours, easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
and you're
So-
gonna want breaks, and we'll take breaks, and especially if something big happens that I wasn't expecting, then we'll need like a 20-minute recess.
But we
so I
can always start over from where we left off, right?
Yeah. every time.
So then.
Yeah, but that's one of those things. Like if we do like a 4-hour session, I can cut the videos like an hour and a half,
Yeah, we
and
can play
then
for an hour
like,
and a half
yeah,
straight.
and then like release those or what have you. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
release
maybe
like
on those
2 a
ones we
week.
edit or we filter ourselves a little bit more.
yeah.
Mhm. That's, and like I said, most of that, like if we're gonna do the D&D thing, I'm all down for it. It's gonna be, like I said, we're gonna have to make sure when we are playing, we do a bulk session. That way we can break it up into 2 episodes
Yeah.
a week. Because one session can be 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
So that way it gives me 2 weeks to do the next part of the next chapter in the story. And
Yeah.
then we move on. We do the next recording. Once that's done, then we do another 4 episodes, so 2 a week, and that'll give me another
Yeah.
2 weeks to. Because as a DM, you get burned out really freaking
Oh,
quick
yeah.
if you're playing every week.
See, and then well, to Wolf King's point, like yeah, we could totally like pre-record and edit and stuff. But if we're doing like say Magic, we can also do maybe like a live reviewing
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, a game of Magic, unless it's just a really
Because
drawn
whenever
out,
they drop like the new core set, we'll
Oh, yeah.
pick up a bunch of packs and then we'll
open them on stream
on
and
the
stuff.
next
Yeah,
day,
yeah, totally, I'm down.
It'll-
stuff like that would be cool.
Like I said, with D&D, it's gonna be one of those where we can do bulk recordings. A DM will get burned out if you try to play every week, and that was my biggest problem with.
Well, no, your problem with Mike was he wanted to play every night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, not Mike. I was talking about with Chris in San Antonio. He wanted to get together every Saturday,
See,
and it's like
So we
would
just do
we do
just
5.
do it all one campaign, right? That's
Uh-huh.
campaign. They're called
Yeah,
campaigns.
yeah.
So we do one campaign that takes 6 hours.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you can do
So that's
4
pretty
episodes.
much the whole. Yeah, that's the whole month. We just have to stay up for 6 hours.
well, you have to stay up for
No,
6
I'm
hours.
fine with that. That's what I'm saying. We just need to have that block of time
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's doable.
Oh yeah.
please, please pre-record all D&D games so we can skip to the end and see if you all
Yeah.
die.
I mean, that's even one of those things. Like
I love how we're streaming our fucking brainstorming session right now as
Yeah.
well.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Thanks for staying tuned, by the way.
right.
Well, and I was like I said, we could either do it live where we do the character generation, or we could pre-record that too. Oops. And I don't care. Like I was telling Brandon,
Yeah.
Brandon said it would probably be good to record it or to even stream it, so that way it's basically a learning session for people who've never
Man,
played
that shit was
D&D.
loud as fuck.
Sorry.
See, and that's one of those things. Like I wouldn't even mind cutting like it for a while, like cutting our show down to 1 day a week, and then like doing like a Thursday show, and then Tuesdays when we do D&D.
See, I don't mind doing the Tuesday, Thursday show, and if we're doing it this way, we're not even spending an extra day a week.
Recording technically.
Yeah.
We're just releasing it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. And like,
But I do want to do like the board games and stuff. where we
I'm
can
down for
just-
that too.
Yeah.
And as we learn, there are a lot of different rules for Uno, and if we decide to play that, we need to
No,
decide
yeah,
the
and
rules.
this is one of the things I really wanted to do too, because well, when I went to that fancy like middle school, my parents paid for me to go to. One of the classes I took was board games.
Really?
Yeah, so they get really in depth and they go over every rule, just the way that you do it in Magic. Like there's a fucking law book
Yeah.
for Magic, and I'm sure like D&D and stuff. That's how that lady was teaching us how to play board games. That's why I play
Really?
Monopoly and all the other games is the way I do. Like we play by the
Wow.
fucking rules.
Damn, that's crazy.
But like, yeah, firing up. Like I said before, I'm down for a D&D session. I already have a first campaign, and it's probably going to run between 4 and 8 hours, just depending on your guys' way of handling everything.
Yeah.
So then after today too, me and you could do my character today.
Yeah.
Wait for Brian to come out.
And then
Yeah.
do Brandon's character. And that's what I was saying. Like, if I can break up, sit down with each person and do their character individually, that's fine too. It's easier than trying to do.
See, and even so, I mean, we can even go as far as using like the system that I built for Ice, because it's super simplified, and that way we don't have like 10 pages of stats and spells and items, and like it's just like literally everything for Ice you can put on a fucking postcard.
Yeah. Beefy said should record some Zoom meeting commander games.
I'd be down with that. Like you?
Damn, working. Only people awake when you normally stream are dudes beating off.
Yeah.
It's an interesting fact for you.
But
Well, to be fair, when we record here at 11:30, it's already 12:30
Yeah.
in most other places. So
yeah.
We didn't get a fans only account. It's just this, but you know, you have to subscribe.
Right. You get to talk to us directly.
Right, but we'll take our shirts off.
Thanks.
She looked right at you too.
Right? I'll take my shirt off right now. I don't care.
Well, I mean, it's worse because right now he's wearing a white shirt and it basically makes him blend in. Him,
It does actually.
and then you,
at least the shirt's whiter than me,
Not by
but
much.
not by much.
barely.
Not by much.
Beefy.
Alright, so not our demographic. Got it, guys. Damn.
Right? Jeez.
But yeah, this is actually the schedule we were trying to get to before, like we said, the first night we tried this, the internet went out. Really? Hey, better start donating.
What are you talking about?
Because I'm about to start taking it off. Do you want me to strip down to my skivvies too?
even whoever's like, oh.
So you know how nauseous I am 24/7, right?
Right? Doesn't bode well for you.
Just need to get her a paintball gun. She'll be happy again.
Fucking Beefy. Because you have room to talk, buddy.
I don't really even have much of a stomach anymore. Of course, that's what working outside for like 8 hours a day, 6 days a week does. But no, I mean, I'd totally be down for that.
What were we?
Yeah, we just gotta work it out. There's
Yeah.
details, but
But yeah, we want to start doing this early. Like we said, the first time
Well, see,
internet
that's
went out,
another
second
thing,
time the
too.
stove died on us, and
Yeah.
right before we were gonna start recording, so we couldn't make dinner, so we had to go get a stove.
Yeah.
like I like our lives. Like I like to stream this live because you get that all that raw stuff.
Yeah.
But we could also cut this down to like a spell, like
Oh yeah.
hour and a half.
Well, most of the time our shows are about an hour and a half.
No, well, sometimes we go longer, and I think
Here recently, yeah.
I think we would go longer if we didn't feel it only had to be an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Well, we had that problem before. Remember, we were doing like.
See,
2.5,
but I didn't think it was
3
a
hours.
problem.
Or you remember the whole 20-minute test
Yeah.
series
Yeah,
that turned into
but-
3 hours, basically?
But when we did 2.5 to 3 hour shows, it's like back then, it seemed like it got more views. Because more people were
So I
able
hear
to hop on afterwards. But now that we only do it an hour and a half, maybe an hour tops, you know, we let people know, and then if they're at work, they only can catch like 5 to 10 minutes of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So between earlier shows and like,
And maybe some editing and just release one. Like,
yeah.
but you could always catch us live.
Oh, yeah.
If you're able to catch us live, it's better.
But if you can't, the archives are always on YouTube.
There we go. Patreon right there. You can watch us live.
For your $5
you're like, I'm at work, fuckers, Jesus.
Right?
For a $5 a month subscription to our Patreon.
No, we would do like $1 a month. Come on, let's be realistic.
And some of it would be our own selves, so we could watch it on our
Right,
phones.
pretty much. pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna start trying to stick to. So if we pay you and Bash, rooms closed, I'm going to demand a refund. This is not the strip club I came to.
Hey, keep in mind, if you pay for it, you know what you're paying for. No refunds here.
But yeah, we want to.
I'm trying to think of-
We're gonna try to keep doing this like on Thursday and stuff too, right? Keep doing the earlier ones around 7:30 ish.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean that'd be nice if you had to, but I'm not gonna be able to do it for the most part. Not at those times.
Yeah.
Well, if like this time when we're doing it early, like I like doing this, but I can only do this every other week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he has to.
Because he has
Yeah,
the,
and then even
his
those days
kids.
too, I've been working on Thursdays and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this Thursday I work.
Yeah. But that's like I like doing the early shows when we can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but it's like consistency. I think is what we need to go with.
Yeah.
We'd always record early morning.
Usually I'm at work.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Unless it's on the weekend. 'Cause I don't work on the weekends.
That'd be cool though if we could talk to Tim and make use of maybe going over there and making
Yeah.
him responsible for all this.
Yeah.
I mean, just even, I mean, he doesn't have to pay us anything.
I bet you anything.
You know, like,
he was doing
let us
something
record
for
over
the
there.
landscape,
A couple
he
of the
meant
people that
wrong
go in
or
there.
twisted wrong.
There's
Or
a
he
ton of
pulled
people
the
that go into a
concrete
shop.
Oh,
and
yeah.
damaged all of his house.
And he picked it up wrong. He probably lifted with his back like I did today.
Probably. And I said he's only.
And yes, I do actually work. I
Yep.
actually do carpentry and construction and plumbing and electrical and pretty much anything else.
A handyman. There you go.
Yeah.
I was about to say the only two that don't work are these two.
And the one in there.
Yeah, but she's too young to work
The
anyway.
fuck she is? I'm fixing to start dragging her ass to the fucking work sites.
You
Also,
wanted that
you could
drink,
always
right?
pull weeds.
Right?
You get paid 50
I will
bucks.
give her credit where credit is due. She has done a fantastic job at keeping up with crap now.
Yeah.
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 And usually you don't have to ask her to do it anymore. She usually just looks at it and goes, "All right, I gotta do this now," because they're gonna ask me anyway.
Yeah.
Get it done before everyone gets home and everybody wakes up. That's what she does, like early in the morning. Like sometimes I'll come out here at like 8 or 9 and I'll just
The other day
hear
with the oven, I don't know why she doesn't trust me. The other day with the oven, she's like, it keeps saying this, and I'm like, what does it say? And she gives me the numbers on the screen, and I look it up, and I'm like, it says you're not pushing start. And so she's like, no, I do that, and it doesn't work. And then I hear her do it again, but this time she pushes start, and it beeps once, and I hear the
flames kick on.
yeah. And
Well-
she was like, "No, now I have to turn this off. It smells like gas." And I'm like, "It's heating up, Ray. Like it's not leaking gas. It's just you smell it heating up."
Yeah.
It's supposed
She's like, "No,
to.
no. I've got to turn this off. It smells horrible like gas in here." I'm like, "Ray, it does not smell like gas. Like I can totally smell gas. Like I know what it smells like. You're fine." She's like, "It's counting down," and I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe that's a feature, and it's like it's
It
gonna
does.
take 8 minutes
It
to."
counts down to heat and
to
tells
where
you when it's ready to heat.
at the
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
temperature, dude. Like, you know,
Yeah.
she's like, no.
Was that the same day she came and got me because it was popping?
So she goes and wakes them up. She goes and wakes them up, and then she walks to the living room. She's like, oh, Uncle Bash to the rescue again. And I was like,
He told you the
I-
same thing I just did.
and then I hear him come into the kitchen. He's like, no, yeah, that's just it heating up, right? Like, and I'm
I told you.
See,
It's like I walked out. I was like, huh?
but she don't trust me for shit.
Well,
Like
no.
the thing with the tuna. I'm like, you put mayonnaise in tuna salad. I'm sorry, that's just the only way I know how to fucking make it.
I don't know any other. I may hate it, but I don't know any other way not to make it because all my cousins they eat it, and so you always
They're-
do mayonnaise or mustard.
It's mayo.
And then
like, it's-
anything you like, you want to add lettuce to that bitch, then go for it. Tomatoes, fine. You know, it's up
See,
to people after that. But the
yeah.
base is mayonnaise
yeah,
and tuna.
Yeah, tuna and mayo.
Yep, and a lot of people like to add a hard-boiled egg to it.
Yeah, my mom does.
I do. But as far as like,
Oh, yeah, I was just like,
I mean-
sitting in the living room.
but
Of course.
but yeah, she comes and wakes me up. So the day before she had an issue with the oven, and it's because that bottom outlet doesn't work. It had quit. Did we switch? You guys switched that piece,
No,
right?
no, not yet. But
Okay.
I have the outlet to do it.
So yeah, the bottom outlet had quit. So when she would try to turn on the oven, it would pop up say power failure.
Mm.
So I unplugged it, I plugged it on top, came on. And then I was like, alright, here, you set it here, blah, blah, blah. And then the next morning, yeah, she comes and gets me. It's counting down. It's doing this. It's doing that. I was like, it's heating up. And I hear Blue just, like, I hear him move, like, trying to look over the back. Like,
You should be like, oh, like I fucking told you.
No, so
So
you
I'm
know,
standing here
it
in
does
my
the
boxers
countdown
and
thing.
my
It
white
does the
shirt.
counting down thing. So Bash goes back to bed. She goes into the room. 8.5 minutes, right? That's what she kept saying. It says 8:30, and I'm like, well, maybe that's how long it takes. So 8.5 minutes later, I hear beep beep. Ray comes out of the room, and I was like, oh, is it heated now? And she was like, looks at me and walks away.
You should have been like, you know what else counts down? Bombs. This is not a good sign.
oh, what was it when we brought the saw in yesterday?
Oh, dude.
We brought the pipe saw because we were fixing the pipe
Oh, yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
I set it down on the table, and Ray goes, why do you have a saw? I said, oh, we're going to quarter the dog and eat it. And she goes, no, you're not. Yeah, we are. And I was dead seriously looking at her, and she was having a panic attack for it. You're not going to do that? That's how you think we're eating
I'm
dinner
like, and
tonight.
see, I never do anything like that, sir. I'm like, what the fuck did I do to you? I would never tell her I'm gonna eat her dog, and
No.
but no, Bash is to the rescue. I'm like, okay.
And what didn't help was she looked at me and Rudy and was like, are you guys gonna let him do this? And me and Rudy almost at the same time, we ain't gonna do shit. We just walked outside. And you just watched panic mode just set in.
Yeah, then, like, she came over to me, she goes, do you really think they'd skin the dog and eat it and everything? And I looked at her with the dead face, and I go, no one bashing your dad? Yeah, most likely. And she
Yeah, I do
goes,
something with the pelt.
you're not helping. And I was like, did you see the mess and everything that it fucking tore up in the house? I mean, they have every right to go out there and just go chop. And she goes,
I told her, I was like, you were just lucky she didn't get a hold of anything in the office. Like, if she had
Oh,
gotten
I
hold
would
of
have
it.
killed her right there.
Yeah. That fucking dog.
Yeah.
And then now you go outside and she's like she's not even afraid of you. She's the happiest little dog on the planet towards you.
Well, apparently earlier she was attacking Cowboy.
Nah, I kind of thought that would happen.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. Well, yeah, because the other night that's what all that whining was. I went out there and Cowboy was nipping at Frost's back leg. And
He
Frost
picks
had
on her.
and Frost got tired of it and grabbed Cowboy and just threw him
like yesterday when I was doing laundry, she was just sleeping, and Cowboy, he's over there and he's nipping at her back legs and pulling on her tail, and she finally got up and she fucking grabbed him by the neck and she swung him across the yard. I was like, stop fucking with her. You started it. I mean, and he just looked at me.
I love Cowboy though, because he'll come when I go outside. He'll come running up and he'll just jump, and I'm like, I'm supposed to catch you.
That was like one of those old men, like at like a senior like assisted living facility that grabs the nurse's ass and then pretends he doesn't know what
Yeah.
he's doing. He's like,
Yeah.
what?
I go out there.
I was
all
raised at
my
a different time. I don't know.
Like I go out there. Like yesterday, we were out there working, and I turn around and Cowboy's running at me, and he just jumps, and I'm like, okay, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do? Sidestep?
Yeah, he did that. Right, just. But he did that to Rudy. So Rudy picked him up and was petting him. And I think it was you that picked him up too. And went to drop it, and it was just like. I was like, oh yeah, you're not a cat. You don't land on your feet.
That was me. Yeah, I was petting him, and I was like, dropped him. And I was like, he goes plunk on his side. I was like, oh yeah, you're not a cat. Oops. It's like I got cats, so when I'm holding him and I'm done petting him, I'll just let go, and they just drop to the ground.
Yeah.
I drop Cowboy, and he goes.
And then he comes in here and then he goes, I forgot dogs can't land on their feet. And I was like, what? He goes, I let Cowboy go and he landed on his side. I was like, He goes, we have cats. I was like, you're an idiot. And then John's over here is like, this is your husband. This is.
The best one though is like when you're actually holding him, and he gets too excited, so he jumps and he fucking lands face down, and then he looks at you like, why?
I remember when he would try to jump onto the couch and not quite make it. Like he would be hauling ass full speed, jump 4.5 feet, but the couch is about 5 feet. And then he gets down, he plays it off cool, like, yeah, no, it's totally what I meant to do. What y'all up to over
Right.
here? I'm gonna lay down for a bit. You look tired. I'm tired too.
The best part is every time he did that, he would just kind of sit there like, what the why? And every time, like if I was in my room or something and you just started busting out laughing, I was like, yeah, we're trying to get on the
Yeah.
couch.
It was like when we were in the room earlier, like I'm laying there and all of a sudden I hear a lot of noise and I kind of pop an eye open, I sit up. As soon as I stand up, I hear all 4 cats just disperse. And Goku just runs face first into the wall and I'm just like... He was already next to the wall and he just turns around and takes off running right into it. And then he keeps trying to get up the wall and I'm like... Yeah, you must have done something you weren't supposed to be doing because you only act like that when you know I'm about to whoop your ass. But all 4 cats, like they were wrestling around, which I don't have a problem with. What I have a problem with is when they start running across behind the TV and they're chasing each other, and I heard them knock
Somebody's
something
gonna catch a
off.
wire.
They did. That TV's already ate the ground twice now. Still works just fine. I don't understand it. It was a $90 TV.
That's why, man. I swear to God.
Yeah.
It's like phones.
It was the little
The
on
cheapest
TV.
ones are the most durable ones.
Yeah, that fucking thing has hit the ground. That thing bounced off the tub, smacked the side of the dresser, and then hit the ground. And turned itself on. It said checking, and it checked everything. Said TV 100%. I put it back up on the stand.
Jesus.
But yeah, I stood up, and the second I stood up, I heard everything stop. And then instantly, all the bells started ringing as they broke off into different directions.
Have
And
you
then
ever
all you hear
walked
is
into
Goku.
a door?
Huh?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
glass
yeah.
door. You've walked
Oh,
into
yeah.
a glass door?
Oh, I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. Yeah.
Glad it's not just me.
My biggest, like the biggest problems that I've had with glass doors is like if I'm like out in public and it doesn't have like the exit sign and it only tells you like you open it from the outside but you can't go out, I will literally smack and run face
So
first.
the story
into
I
the
was
door.
about to tell was about a girl just like that. I was like, woman, it's cool. I know it doesn't have a sign, but it has a handle. Like,
I
it's
think
not a bar, it's a
like
handle.
Like the biggest thing was when I used to go to the courthouse with my mom. Like I told them put a sign on the inside because it didn't have a handle, it didn't have a bar, it didn't have anything. And so people just assumed
I'm
that
sure
you
it had
pushed.
something, right? That's,
No, it didn't. Like you would just assume that you could just push the door open. And the first time I did it, the lady was like, "It's an enter-only door." I was like, "Put a fucking sign up here
Which
that says
courthouse is
enter-only."
this? We're
Oh
going.
yeah, they tried that at Walmart where it says enter and exit. Everyone walks in through the exit side anyway.
No, but her door didn't say anything at all.
No, the courthouse in Waco. No,
It's like we'll go to Walmart and she'll go walking towards the exit only door and I'll grab her and like I can read and drag her to the other door. She's like it works both ways. It says exit.
I had a customer do that. Like you pull to get into our establishment, and she pushes on it, and we all see her. Oh, this idiot. She like steps back. She looks at the time on the door. She pushes it again. We're still all looking at her. She looks at us looking at her, and she starts. Mom, I got this. So I go out through the other door, right? Through the employee door. I got you now. She looked at me so fucking pissed, but she couldn't say shit.
There was one time, you know the airports how they have the turn doors.
Mhm.
Some airports have the turn doors. So at DFW Love Field, I went there to go pick up my aunt, and this lady I walked in right behind this lady. This lady's coat, she had like the coat tied around her waist. Got caught in the door, and she's trying to walk away, and it starts pulling her back into the door, and she starts screaming. And I'm like, all I do is I push the back part of my door, and it just stops everything. because you have to push the bar for the
Yeah.
door to turn. So I'm pushing the bar, and this guy behind me is pushing the bar, and this lady is trying to walk straight and ends up coming back in and starts screaming. So I just put my hand on the back part of the door, and the guy sees what's going on. He puts his hand on the back part of the door, and we push it back.
Jesus.
And the security guard comes running over and unties her jacket and pulls it off, and she starts yelling at him about the door being a hazard. And
It's
he's
a
like,
door.
you're not supposed to wear basically a trench coat tied around your waist. And she's like, oh, don't you sass me. And I'm like,
It's your fault.
I'm trying to see how you have a point here, but
yeah.
you
No, I
don't.
think the worst one that I've ever done though was whenever I was little. Fucking, because one of the doors, it was a sliding glass door and then a screen door, and we'd play out in the yard. Me, my brother, and my two stepbrothers. And she'd open the door, call us for dinner, close the door. Yeah. Well, normally she would leave it open and we would just run in. Not this day.
Not this day.
Not this day. And I was like, I'm gonna beat everybody, fucking full sprint, just slap right against the fucking glass, and I bounced off.
Did
of
you
it.
break it? No.
No. And my mom comes and opens the door. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Your brother's already eating at the table.
Yeah.
You're knocked out.
Oh no, everybody just died laughing. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I hit the door. She was like, "So open the door." And then here go my brothers just straight in. And I was like, I fucking hate all y'all.
See, so my grandparents at their house when they lived in Denton, they had this giant solid glass, like even the frame was glass door, and it slid open and closed too, but the handle was like a crystal, so you couldn't see it from the outside. So I see my dog take off running, and she goes in, and there's a small dog door on the right of the door, and she goes through it, so I'm running right behind her, and I just straight through it. Glass shatters.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
just laying there like, ow. I was 14. I was a
Wow.
full-grown teenager at that point.
Wow.
And I hadn't been there in like a year, and so I didn't know they had replaced the door. I thought they just had it open.
His
Yeah,
like
and my dog greeted me in the front yard, and I had gotten out of my mom's car, and I was just running towards the house, and chasing my dog into the house.
This is the
And
first
she
time
goes
you've
in through
ever
this.
encountered a closed door.
It was the first time I ever had seen them have that screen door. They didn't have
Oh.
a sliding glass door like that. It used to be French doors that opened, and I thought they were opened.
You know what's funny though? Every time you run into a glass door, you always get pissed off like it's somebody else's fault.
I think
Every
I
time.
just get pissed off at myself.
No, I got mad at my grandparents that day. I was like, you didn't tell me it was a sliding glass door. I thought you had the French doors open.
See, that's worse.
Because they were yelling at me about breaking their brand new door, and I'm like, you should have told me you got a brand new door that was made of solid glass.
Well, I didn't get the memo.
I was like, because whenever I would show up over there, like they always left the French doors open so that way I could get into the house, because they'd usually be in the upstairs living room, so they wouldn't hear the doorbell or anything. So they'd come down, they'd leave the giant French doors open, and that's what I thought they did. So I'm chasing my dog in the house, and I didn't know they put a little dog door right to the right of the door. Dog runs through the dog door, I run right into the fucking glass.
What about yours, Ash?
Besides the courthouse, the other one that made me really mad was my grandmother when she lived from another small town that she lived in. She had just got done cleaning her house, so that means she Windexed all the doors. She done everything. It was like a spring cleaning, even though it was like fucking July or August, one of the two. It was right before we went back to school. And so
Did they
all
have
the
big
kids were
rings?
outside and we were swimming and everything. And at this point, she just had a solid glass sliding door. And so she was making lunch and she opened the door to say lunch was ready, closed the door. All the kids were coming out of the pool now and we were all running. And we were like, did she leave the door open? And my cousin, she was like, I think she did, yeah. Me and my fucking cousin, we go running. She goes, I'm gonna beat you. I was like, no, you're not. We run, smack. My grandmother, she opens the door. She goes, I just fucking cleaned this glass. I was like,
No.
How can I tell that the fucking door is open when it's crystal clear?
That's what I love. Country families, it's not like, oh my god, are you okay? It's
Oh,
like,
no, fuck
you
no.
could fucking got my shit. I just cleaned this.
That's,
Yeah,
see,
no, you already had a
that-
Windex
that's
bottle thrown
basic-
at you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how my grandparents were when the glass shattered. They came running over and they're like, "We just had that installed like a week ago." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay."
And my
What about you?
Just like when I was little, my parents always had. It was similar to like this, but there was a sliding glass door. Same thing. I was just running up, but it had like the 2 steps of port, so I was running like, oh, jump up these stairs, bam. I woke up several hours later in a
Oh.
daze.
I'll never forget the time at Domino's on Old Pearsall. They had those sneeze guards all the way around, and we had just opened, and I was in the middle of a rush, and I was running, and I used to have this thing where I'd run, I'd stop mid run, and I'd let the cornmeal slide me to the end.
I can't ever see that going wrong.
No, I never had a problem with it until then. I fucking had dough in my hand, fucking slid, and I remembered real quick that there's not a wall here to catch me. It's just glass. It went straight through it.
Ooh. How many panes of glass have you broken in your life?
A good amount.
Wow.
A good
I think
chunk.
I've broken one.
I broke a car windshield.
One time I was telling a story about somebody knocking on my door. I remember that story now too. But anyways,
What the fuck?
so I'm telling the story of what had happened like the night before, and like somebody angrily showed up at my front door and they were beating on the window. So as I'm telling the story, I do the same thing, like, but I'm sitting in my SUV at the time, and I'm telling my friend the story, and I'm like, yeah, so we're fucking sitting there, and all of a sudden, bam, bam, chink. I was like, what the? Aren't these supposed to be like shatterproof? He was like, from the outside, you idiot, and I was like, oh, well, now I
you don't have it
know.
on.
Because I didn't even hit it
Oh,
that hard. I hit it as, like, as
Yeah.
hard as I hit the table, and just,
No.
Yeah, I've done something like that at one of the other houses that we lived in. Fucking me and Tori were telling a story. I was like, yeah, it was just like spider web,
Right.
like the entire sliding door, and I was like,
oh.
See, I did that in my car. I had a 96 Altima, and I was smoking a cigarette.
Humble brag.
right?
I wasn't paying attention that my window
Do you
wasn't.
want anything from the kitchen?
No, thank you, sir. I wasn't paying attention that the window wasn't down, and I had my class ring on, and I smacked the window when I was trying to flick my cigarette, and all you see is the fucking driver's side window just explode outward.
Jesus.
And I was
Christ.
like,
Were you driving?
yeah, I was in the middle of driving, and the window just explodes outward on the highway, and I'm like,
I bet he was like, I'm sorry for the people behind me. You
No,
might
I-
get glass in your
I was
tires.
more pissed because it was 28 degrees outside and raining. And I get to my dad's house to go to work, and I'm just like, I get out of the car and I'm like, can I get a trash bag and duct tape? I'm sitting here like shaking, and he's like,
They're like, we have coats if you want one.
I was like, I need
You
trash
need a
bag.
fashion one out of.
Well, I told him, I was like, I
bags
need
and
trash
duct
bag
tape.
and duct tape to put the window so I could cover the window. And he goes, what'd you do? I was like, I went to flick my cigarette and realized I didn't have the window down, and I smacked it, trying to throw the cigarette out the window.
Jesus.
And my class ring, it still had the stone on it at the time. So it had this big stone that stuck straight up and it was pointed. And that's what did it. I fucking smacked the window with the point of that stone and it just shattered.
God damn.
And so my dad was like, alright. He's like, you know what? He goes, let's put a trash bag on it. And he goes, what car is it? And I was like, it's a 96 Altima. And he's like, alright. And he gets on the computer and he's like, alright, I can have a window guy here in like 2 hours. He goes, we'll just be about 3.5, 4 hours late for work. And he was like, I don't care. I own the company. I was like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'll just blame it on the weather. So we're waiting. The guy comes out and he puts the window in. I get home after work and I didn't say anything to my ex-wife at the time. And she gets in the car to go to work. And she's like, why is there glass in the door panel? And I was like, you know, that's a good story, but go to work. You're already running late.
Like, that is a wonderful.
That is a beautiful question.
Right? That is a wonderful question. Have a great day. I'll see you later. I'll have dinner ready by the time you get home. Bye.
Everything will be spotless
And
by
I don't
the
think
time
we
you come
I don't think
home.
we ever had the conversation of why there was glass in the door panel either. Because when the guy came out, literally, he took the door panel off, he moved it, he put the whole new window in, put the door panel back on, but I guess when he was cleaning out the glass, he forgot some of the
Yeah.
cup holder part of the door. Because just like the Scion, my Ultima had the cup
Yeah,
holders.
okay, I was gonna say, what is it with you? Because every car I've ever known you to have has a cup holder in the door.
To be honest, when I look at a car, I want to know the cup holders. For very specific reasons, though. I usually don't, at the time, I usually didn't go anywhere without 4 or 5 people in my car. And we would all go out to eat and get in the car, and then nobody would have anywhere to put cups.
So he makes sure he has a lot of
Yes,
cup
I do. Because when I had my Celica and we went out to lunch, we had 4 people with us. No one had anywhere to put their cups, and I had to slam on my brakes once, and I had 2 cups from the back seat hit the front window.
Nice.
Man, that's
And I
just-
almost
I'd be
wrecked
mad
because
at my
of that.
friends.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you not hold on to cups? You
Yeah.
have a lap.
That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
And they're like, you should have cup holders. And I was like, put it in your lap.
See, that's one of those weird things. I used to know somebody, like, whenever they would go car shopping, like, for a long time, because at one point, I think I went with them to, like, 7 or 8 dealerships. And they look at me like, and then they check the trunk, they check the hood and all that stuff, and be like, no, it's only like 4 bodies or 3 bodies or whatever. Finally, I was like, what's the body thing? And she was like, if I can only fit like 3 bodies in the trunk, it's not big enough. And
Yeah,
I was
that's my
like,
dad's joke.
how many
too.
people you kill in a week?
It's just we always went out with friends, and then even when I lived in Waco, like I had to get like the Cadillac was nice, but when I got the Expedition, the only reason I chose the Expedition is because of the room,
It had the 3rd row seating too.
and all the seats were heated or cooled. Like it was a fully loaded Expedition, and I was like,
Jesus.
nice. Like
When I had my Town and Country, the one before this one, I took out that middle row, and I had a driver at the time. Good times. But it was just me way in the back of the van.
Nice.
That was
Alright.
the shit. I was just driving around drunk all day, but I wasn't actually driving, so
Yeah.
that was awesome. Fucking Nancy. She saw a lot of things. She would adjust her mirror to see a lot of things. She would.
Yeah, you've told me. You've told me.
Good times, good times.
But yeah, I mean, Windows. I've never gotten along with Windows, so
Good to know. Really good.
Okay,
to
so
know.
that's
I mean-
only 3 though.
there's also a reason I don't buy Volkswagens, and that's because of the luck I had with yours.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
that's for any
Okay. So at one point, I had a Volkswagen Passat Turbo. Loved this car. And one day, he and I were at work, and it was like, hey, can I take your car? I need to go do whatever it was. I was like, yeah. Toss him the keys. He comes back and he was like, so something happened. I was like, what? He was like, I broke the door handle. And I was like, how the fuck do you break a door handle? He was like, I don't know.
Fair question.
Yeah, he's like, I went to go open it, and the door handle just came off.
It did. It literally did.
Yeah.
I grabbed it and just the whole thing came off.
Generally, when you pull like a car door handle,
Yeah.
it just opens the door.
Yeah. And I was like,
So that is weird.
I was like, all right, well, we can go get another.
I think it was because I forgot to unlock it
I was
first.
like, did you lock it? And he was like, oh no, I forgot. I was like, or no, because you broke the inside one. I was like, all right, here, take the keys, go lock my door.
He was trying. He got locked in. He got
Yeah.
locked inside
Yes.
his car. Oh, wow. That's.
I was like, did you lock it? He was like, no, I forgot. I was like, here, go lock it.
Were you like rolling down the window asking people for help that were walking by?
I reached out and opened the door, but
So I tossed him the keys back. I was like, go lock it. He was like, okay. Goes outside. He comes back and he was like, so something happened. And I was like, what? What could have happened now? And he was like, the lock on your door broke. I was like, how? He was like, I don't know. I put the key in and it just freeze. I was like, what the fuck?
This is
So-
on one day. Or?
yes,
Yes.
within like an hour.
Yeah. And I was like, what the So I was like, what's the front? So he and I walked out there. I put the key in. And sure enough, I think that bitch just fucking free spun all the way around it.
I don't
You
know
broke
why
the
I
cylinder?
did that
And I
either.
was like, what did you do? He was like, look, all I did, and he grabbed my keys and he put it in. He was like, all I did was this, and he snaps the key off in the lock.
The fucking
And I
cylinder
was like-
decides to lock right then and
I
there when
was
I'm just
like,
trying to turn it
I'm
and it
gonna
snaps the
fucking kill you.
key.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. I was like, you didn't even put my window up, and he was like, yeah.
The
I was
window
like,
wouldn't go up
what?
either.
He was like, so the window stopped working too. I was like, you better be fucking joking. He was like, no, I'm not.
And I think, what was it?
So I went to the passenger side, got in, because I had the electronic windows. I've got this little stub of a key, and I could barely turn it to ACC power. I do that, and I pull the switch, nothing. And I was like, what did you do this time? He was like, nothing. I pushed the thing down, and the button goes through the fucking door, and I was like,
You're like, I
touching
hammer
the
and a
car.
chisel.
I was like, so in a day, you've broken my window switch, you've broken the
The
window,
door.
you've broken this,
The door handle.
yeah, the door handle,
The key and the lock.
yeah, the key and the tumbler. 5 things on one door in less than an hour. So after that, I
It's like I really wanted
No,
my
no.
fucking Cheerios.
I think the straw that broke the camel's back was like a few days later he got it fixed. And he asked me to go out there and get your cigarettes out, right?
Oh,
and I forgot
why?
the keys.
That's your own fault.
I forgot the keys in the seat, and when I closed the door, it locked.
Jesus, man.
so then me, him, and one of our brothers had to go out there for like 2.5 hours, getting into what is apparently fucking burglar proof.
No, because then we figured out your fucking trunk doesn't lock when the rest of the doors lock. You have to double tap the lock. So
Yeah.
the whole time we're sitting here trying to jimmy the fucking lock open, and I walked to the back, and I pushed the trunk. I was like, son of a bitch. Laid
Yeah.
the seat down and crawled through
Yeah,
it.
he was like, "Hey, the trunk is open." I was like, "You better be fucking kidding me!" And he lifts it up. I was like, "Get your ass in that fucking car right now!" And he was like, "But I'm too big." I was like,
no, not today, bitch.
Yeah, I was like,
To
"You
be
better
fair, I
find-
was the smallest
I
of
was
the
like, "You better
three of us
find a
sitting
way."
out there.
I was like, "Your life depends on it right now." So watching him fucking hobble his big ass into this little tiny trunk.
Oh, I can so picture.
Oh, it was
The
great.
Shimmy with no arm movement.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, trying to lay the seat
yeah,
down.
because he had to do this, or no, he had one arm up, and he got to about here and he got stuck because my seat.
It was like being like a live witness to his birth.
Yeah, like in Ace Ventura. So the way that my seat's
That's,
folded,
that's 2 episodes in a row we've referenced Ace Ventura somehow.
Yep.
I see nothing wrong with that. So the way that my seat folded was, you know,
Have
how,
you seen Jim Carrey lately? Let's put a pin
Yeah.
in that one though.
yeah, gained weight, looks really good with a beard.
No, not the pictures I saw. Anyways, go.
Okay. So my seat, rather than all of it folding down, it was like 2/3 of it folded, or one little tiny area. It was probably about that big.
Yeah, and on the 2/3 side, you couldn't reach the cable
Yeah.
to pull it down from
Because
the
that
trunk.
one you had to do it from the inside. Only the small hatch would open from the trunk. Yeah, it was worth it.
At least.
But
at
this
least.
was all within a week.
Yeah. So for like a good 20 minutes, all you see is legs dangling out the fucking trunk.
Me kicking it like fucking worming my way through the fucking seat.
Dude, man,
Ah.
man,
All
I
I
would have made
could've-
that so much worse for
After
him,
that, I was
though.
like, I hate this fucking car. And I still, to this day, when I go to a car lot, they'll have a VW. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Move
And,
on.
and at one point he was like, I can reach your seat, and pull myself in. I was like, don't you fucking dare.
Or break out the damn
Yeah,
steering
I was
wheel
like-
or some shit.
I was like, if you break my seat, I'm gonna fucking kill you right now. I was like, you are halfway in your coffin.
You watch fucking Police Academy, right?
Oh yeah.
In Hightower, they're teaching him how to drive. He has to tear out the front seat and sit in the back. That's what happens when you let him bash your car. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Well,
since
was it some car that Shaq bought? He had to do that.
What was that?
This was years ago, but he bought some car,
Shaq did.
Oh, yeah.
and they had to completely unbolt and remove
Yeah.
the front seat.
It,
so
it
he could
was
sit in the
when
back.
he was that the one that he did with Exhibit, like on
I have no idea.
Hit My Ride, I think?
I-
Or it was somebody that did a custom car for him.
I have no idea.
But then, so
But he got it like the Demon, where there's only one chair.
after all of that, ever since then, it's always been my cars that someone else breaks.
Oh, that's a lot of karma coming back to you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
You've got someone took it without permission and went to the gas station to get cigarettes and had the whole front end of the car crushed in. And then, what was it, the Cadillac? 2 different people ruined that car over a period of time.
I want to hear her version of the story.
For the Cadillac?
I don't know. Look at that face though.
One dumbass wrecked it going to work. The other dumbass forgot to put coolant in it and decided to just fill it with water. And then after he filled it with water, he decided to put the wrong coolant, and so
Why
it
she
just
go
blew
all
up the
British?
water. And so that messed up. And then the second person who forgot to put the coolant in it, decided not to change the oil. So that went wrong. And the
What kind of
AC.
caddy was this?
It was a Seville
Yeah.
STS. It was a 2000. It was a beautiful fucking car.
Great car.
It would have lasted forever had jackasses learned to, use it correctly.
And who were Jackass 1 and 2?
My ex-girlfriend and her
That's what I
ex-boyfriend.
kind of figured.
Well, so I had the Cadillac, and then I got the Expedition. And my ex-girlfriend and I were living together, and she had to go to work, but she didn't have a car. I was like, here, just use the Cadillac. I said, you need to check the oil once every 2 weeks.
I don't think I could ever tell any of my exes that. Here, just borrow the caddy. No. Mm-mm.
I hated the Caddy. Like,
Here, I bought you a bus pass.
I figured he would have let her use the Expedition because the Expedition, it was already run down. The front seats were broken, the radio was broken, had no handles. I mean, like the inside of the car was fucking, it was just
I bought
broken.
it from a guy who had 7 kids.
It was as if Bash had already
And-
owned the car.
No,
Right.
I bought it from a guy who had 7 kids, and when I say this dude was big, he was about as tall as Chris, but twice the size of Cameron.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So
that
all
seat-
the foam and
Yeah,
everything,
like the
it
seat
was
had this
just-
huge crater in it. What I ended up doing is I bought like a bunch of like foam inserts and I cut the seat and I stuffed them in there and stitched it back. And that solved that problem. I slowly worked the inside of the Expedition to make it look decent. Because the outside, I mean, it had a dent, but the rest of it was clean and it ran well. Just the inside was shit. But I didn't care that the inside looked like shit as long as it could get me
Yeah.
point A to point B. I could work the inside, small amounts. But no, the whole reason I didn't give her the Expedition is because to me the Expedition was newer, had less miles on it,
Yeah.
and the Cadillac had 484,000 miles put on it
Jesus.
at the time, and I had just rebuilt the whole thing. I was like, you know what? Use the Caddy. It's like, if something happens to it, I really don't care about this car anymore.
It's too
So,
expensive
so
to fix.
somewhat on topic, but off topic. Have you ever been in a car accident?
I've been in one.
I've been in one, and I was pregnant too.
Or you guys were together?
Mm-mm.
No.
I was with my ex, and we were on our way to one of our old jobs, and it was raining outside, and his dumbass wasn't paying attention, and this truck was stopped at the stoplight, and he was just sitting here looking at his fucking phone, texting a girl that I left him because he was talking to her with, and he fucking rear-ended this work truck out of any kind of vehicle.
Big ass
And
fucking
no, when I say he rear-ended it, like,
He drove.
he literally was
underneath it.
underneath the truck, and the truck had nothing wrong with it. The whole front end of his Celica was sitting at the front windshield.
Jesus.
It was a Dodge, so it had the tail hitch.
Yeah.
It had everything on it, and like after
And the only accident I've ever been in, David.
the like I had got out of the car, and the only thing that I told the guy that he hit was sorry, I don't know why I was apologizing, and I told him, I was like, out of any fucking vehicle you could hit, you hit the inline work truck, which
Ooh,
was the
fuck that.
which was the road construction company
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
working on the road.
They gotta
highways.
design their trucks to be hit accidentally,
Yeah.
right?
And like I was like,
They
how
literally
did
designed
you
this
miss
Yeah.
it?
to take an impact.
Because on the back of the inline trucks, they have the big ass stop sign
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
tail
Yeah.
end,
It's
on
pretty-
top of the fucking guard lines.
If you can see those bitches at 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
you should totally be able to see it in daylight.
Yeah.
Well, it was pouring down rain, and he had a real bad habit of not
Everything's super
doing his
reflective.
windshield wipers.
Yeah, he.
Well,
he
no,
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just stupidity.
Yeah, but even still, like hitting anything done by inline, you're gonna pay for the rest of your fucking life.
And-
They like it's proven they have some of the best insurance in
Well,
the world.
and that
What's
was the
this?
thing. The
Inline.
What's that?
it's a construction company.
But the
Yeah.
only thing
Oh.
saving grace from
Is that like a
that
Texas
car
thing, or-
accident
yeah.
The only saving grace from that car accident is the guy that he hit. My grandmother actually worked for Inline at the time, and so he knew who I was because I'd been up there multiple times for her to take her lunch and stuff. And he was like,
The car,
I can't. Okay, you're pregnant. I know that, but I really don't want to take this to my boss. So I'm gonna say it was a minor accident, and we'll just trade insurances. That's it. And
but
then
it was because the truck had nothing wrong with it.
yeah, he had a
Like,
tiny scratch.
I feel you're missing the bigger point, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
no,
yeah, but-
our car had more damage to it
Oh,
than
yeah,
Your
anything.
car, the whole front end was pushed up
But
to
if,
the front
I'm
window.
like, but if anybody else had reported it, like sitting on the side of the
Oh,
road,
yeah.
or like, aren't
Oh,
you
yeah.
supposed to even call the cops for a minor accident?
Yeah.
Yes, but
But for inline, the way that they do car accidents, because I used to work for like the trucking portion of them, is like whenever one of their drivers gets into an accident, it doesn't matter if it's a semi, a fucking road vehicle, whatever. The person driving it or the people in it automatically takes 6 months off.
yeah.
Automatically, and they're paid for all
6 months? I mean, that
Yep.
seems excessive. Like 6
Well,
weeks.
well,
Like,
because they send them to the doctor and they get like a full panel done on everything to make sure that they're not injured. And then
Huh.
in the event they are injured, then they go like they pay for all the physical therapy. They do everything, and then all their vehicles are reinforced, like heavily reinforced.
and this is a street construction.
Yeah.
That's
well, they
because
do,
we don't have that here, as far as I know. Inline?
no. Inline works statewide. They're
See, I've never heard of that.
Inline is also called AWP. I don't know
Yeah.
if you know what that is.
yeah AWP. So
the one I know around here is like Tri-State.
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just like a different chapter of theirs.
Oh, that's
But-
crazy.
Yeah, but it's all under the inline banner, and
But-
yeah,
But
Yeah.
after we got in that accident, we both called into work because we couldn't go. Bash was supposed to go in at the same time we were, but he couldn't leave his driveway because his whole fucking road was flooded. My ex called him and he goes, "Dude, I need you to come over and I need you to bring your grandfather's truck." And he was like, "What the fuck happened?" He goes, "You'll see when you get here." He pulls up with his grandfather's truck. He looks at the car. He looks at me. He looks at my ex. He goes, "What the fuck did you do? Are you okay?"
You know how much work I put into this car
What
for
happened to
you?
the car? They had to drive to Dallas that weekend to go to a car lot to pull off a hood, a bumper, a whole front end, pretty
Oh,
much.
Yeah,
told
I
me that
cut
story.
that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
front
you
end
told me
off
that
and just
story.
loaded it up and took it with us, and we
Yeah.
reattached it. His dad and I went back under. We went under his car. We cut out the whole front end again, threw it out. Basically, took a whole other front end, welded it on, straightened it out, leveled it out, and then he wrecks it again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That time I wasn't with them.
And then we fixed it, got a new hood, got a new bumper, because that's all he damaged on it this time. Fixed it, his dad and I fixed it again, and then he blew the motor in it 2 weeks later.
Yeah, bro.
Because he didn't put oil in it.
What about your car accident?
I had my Mustang, and
Oh, like sweet.
it was raining really, really hard. And I
Why
went
is
to
it always
take
rating y'all's stories?
I went to take a left turn, and I hit a pothole, and the whole back end of my car went sideways,
You're
and it
going
slammed
too
me into
fast
a
and-
tree. No, I was going like 10 miles an hour.
And you know the best part about it, they cut every tree down
Yeah,
along
they
that
built
area.
that one?
They built a
Except for that
Walmart right
tree.
there. They cut every tree down, but left that one, and you can drive by it to this day and it's still missing half the tree.
Sweet.
Like the bark on it, where like it has a
It's
perfect
healed.
circle,
Yeah.
and he was like, "That spot is where
I
my
told them
car
I'm gonna
hit."
cut that tree down and take it with me.
I say we just go put a banner around it.
It had I had a Mustang emblem hammered to it for a while.
That's cool.
I did.
What kind of Mustang?
It was a 2006.
Oh.
It was.
You
I
take a loss.
enjoyed. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a good car to me. It had a water pump problem. I fixed that. After that, no problem.
Unless you're trying to fit two of your brothers that are.
Dude, I will
Not
never
small.
forget the day we tried to
Yes.
leave. We had to leave the Magic the Gathering tournament. And had all of us trying to
Yeah.
cram in that car because I was the only other one that drove besides David, and he wasn't ready to leave at 5 in the morning.
The whole reason I'd asked this question is I ran into one of my customers the other day too, and like this dude, I cannot recognize him still to this day. This guy has lost an entire knee plus like another 40 pounds.
God damn.
Like, I asked him, I was like, damn kid, like I every time I see you, I just like it's your face, but I cannot see you. And he's like, dude, I've lost like 340 pounds. I'm like, that is
Jesus.
ridiculous.
Would you?
But it's because he
Control
was
system?
no, he was in a coma for a year.
Oh.
Oh, ow.
But
Like an asshole.
Yeah.
yeah, no, he was just driving home from work one night and drunk driver T-boned him, and
Damn.
yeah, so he was in a coma and they had to check out like I guess to relieve the pressure on his brain or something.
Oh,
They take out the chunk of
yeah,
your skull.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like he had all that done to him.
Shit.
He was a super cool dude, and like, is around the time I kind of stopped going to Sam's before when I had quit like working over here, and so I never really saw him. And even then, when I would see him, he'd only worked in the mornings, so like I didn't, you know.
Yeah.
And one day he showed up to my work and he was like, "Yo, what up?" And I'm like, "I don't know you." And he was like, "Yeah." And I was, holy shit, because this dude, like, I'm to lose 340 pounds
Yeah.
and still exist.
Yeah.
He was a big boy.
He didn't vanish into nothing.
Well, it's like the only two that I've been in, surprisingly, were forces that I could not control. One was when I was younger. Me and my mom were driving around, and her front axle snapped. That was interesting. The second one, I was driving home from work whenever I ran the bar, and the roads had iced over. And
Oh.
before you got into like pulling to my neighborhood,
We ran into like black ice.
yeah, but it was on a big S curve.
Oh,
And I got through the first one fine, and I went to take the second one, and all my wheels just broke traction. And I slid, fucking, it caught, I slid back the other way, slid back, and I fucking slammed. Like, my door was right against the post. So,
what was your last thought right before that?
this is happening.
See, that's how I was when I spun. I just let go. I was like, this is gonna hurt, because my driver's side was aimed right at that tree.
Yeah.
But at the last like second, right when I had started losing traction on the side, I saw another car coming head on, and so I grabbed the steering wheel, I yanked it, and then I let go, and so the car went like that.
You're like, Jesus, take the wheel.
I was like, at this point, I yanked the shit out of the steering wheel. I don't want to hit that car because I don't know who's in that car. I don't know if they have a family in
Yeah.
there. If I'm gonna hit anything, let me just hit the tree. I had 2 other people in the car with me, and we hit the tree. My shoulders goes limp. And I'm sitting here like, yeah, that dislocated my shoulder. I look back. I was like, it was my roommate's wife, and I was like, "You okay?" She's like, "Yeah." And I looked at my roommate, and he's got a gash on his head and blood pouring down his face. And he goes, "Has anyone seen my Lunchable? I was eating a Lunchable, now I can't find it." And he goes, "Oh, there's a cracker." And I'm like, "All right."
You have a concussion.
I was like, "You have a concussion. Are you sure you're okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She goes, "I've got a knot on the side of my head, but I'm good." I was like, "All right." So we're gonna go up to the ER. We'll get checked out.
Whose
That's it.
fault was that accident?
The city paid for it.
Or
San
whose
Antonio
fault?
did.
Or, like, what caused that accident?
A pothole.
Oh,
Yeah, I hit a pothole, and what it was is they were doing road construction on a street called Ellison, and they had dug out like an area, and they didn't put a cone or anything there to tell you it was there, and it was raining, so it had filled up with water, and I didn't see it, and when I took the turn, I hit it, and it shot my car to the side, and so I called 911. They had an ambulance come out. The people that I avoided hitting came over, and they were helping us get out of the car. They helped me the guy pushed the car out of the tree so we could get me out, because they had to break my window and pull me out through it because my door was completely folded in like that. It V'd against the tree.
Did the big fireman pick you up in his arms?
No, it
and
was the
carry you
dude.
away?
It was the dude from the other car. He
He
fucking
picked me up in his arms.
yeah. He reached under my arms. He asked me to undo my seatbelt, so I did. He reached under my arms and he drugged me out and he laid me on the ground. He goes, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Give me a second. I'm gonna get up." And I stood up, and he's like, "You're not moving your left arm." I said, "I know." And I leaned up against the Mustang and I pushed, and all you hear is
Oh,
crack.
you did Lethal Weapon style? That's what's up.
And I was like, well, I'd watched my
I'm gonna give
grandmother.
you points for that one.
I watched my grandmother dislocate her shoulder so many times, and all she does is she'll like lean up against something
So
and
now
just
you're
push
taking
it.
your own points away by comparing it to your
Yeah.
grandma.
Yeah.
So that's all I remembered is like I remember her dislocating it. I was like, it's dislocated, and so I leaned up against the car and I pushed. It popped. Everyone around me was just like, oh, and I was like, ow. It's like, all right, I started rotating it. You just hear it crack every 5 seconds. I'm rotating it. And the ambulance showed up, and they took my roommate and his wife to the hospital, and they asked if I wanted to go. I said, no, I gotta wait. I'm waiting for the tow truck. And they said, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, the only thing I did was just look at my shoulder. I'm fine. I'm like, okay. So I sent them up there. I gave them a copy of my car insurance. That way the hospital would bill me and not them. And they got checked out. Yeah, he had a concussion. He had glass stuck in his forehead. And his wife had a fractured collarbone. But the city paid for everything. Because I sent all that to USAA. I sent the claim. They were able to look at the rear tire. It had completely ripped the axle off
Jesus.
from how deep it was. It caught the entire bottom of my car. The back bumper had come off. And they looked at it. USAA came out. They took pictures. They took pictures of the pothole. The dude took a tape measure, stuck in the pothole. It was 4 feet deep.
Damn.
God damn.
And he's like, don't worry. He goes, we've got this. I get a check in the mail for 10 grand from San Antonio. Plus my car got paid off. All the medical bills were paid off.
Shit.
I was like, cool. I
Right?
paid off.
Totally could have been fixed with like $500 worth of
Yeah.
asphalt, but no.
Yeah.
Cost
But-
them 10
but no, I take that
grand.
back. I have been in one other one. Thinking about it. It was me and Phil, actually.
Dunphy?
No. Another buddy of ours. We were... Actually, he had the same kind of Mustang. A silver one. And we were on our way to work. We worked for T-Mobile at the time. And we were going through and it was raining. And sure enough, we hit it and his tires broke free. There was a big-ass fucking classic truck right in front of us. And like, we're sliding and we just looked at each other and we just laid our seats back. Like, yeah, this is happening. And sure enough, we were right up under that fucking truck and the guy got out. He was like, are you okay? I was like,
Can't
yeah.
move.
And so we're standing out there in our fucking dress pants and our fucking dress shirt, and it's like fucking 30 degrees. And I was like, is your truck okay? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I've got steel reinforcements. My bumpers are all steel. He was like, you didn't
What
do
kind of
shit.
truck was it?
It was like a '96 Chevy. Like it wasn't like a classic truck, but it was a different.
It was
body
still
style.
when they had
When
the
they still
full
use
steel.
metal?
Oh yeah. Well, and he had replaced it with the diamond steel bumpers.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, we weren't doing shit to that. And
Yeah.
we went under that, and his hood came up, and the engine fucking broke through the heat wall. And we sat there, and we looked at each other. I was like, "You alright?" He was like, "Yeah." "Are you?" Yeah. So it just sucked. We called our boss. And I was like, "Yeah, we're not coming in today." And he was like, "Why not? You might only 2 guys scheduled for the first half of the day." I was like, "Well, this happened." And we sent him pictures. He was like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, see, when I started working for Domino's in Waco, they gave me a truck to help run the store in Corsicana, which was a 45-minute drive.
Uh-huh.
He gave me a truck and a gas card. And this is the only time, besides the Mustang, I'd ever had something happen to a vehicle. But I was on my way back from work, and the fucking drive shaft just snaps. Completely falls to the ground, and the transmission rolls right out from under the truck. All I'm doing is I'm driving, and all of a sudden the whole back end just shoots up and hits the ground. And I see a ball of fire just rolling across the field. And it sets
Well, that's not good.
it sets this entire field on fire.
And it was the worst part about it was the field that he caught on fire, it was all a big old cornfield. So all this corn caught on fire. He sent pictures to everybody. He goes, something happened, and all I see is this big ass cornfield in flames. I go, there goes like maybe 20 grand for that farmer.
Yeah, it was-
himself.
it was-
I was like,
The insurance came
that,
back.
That
It
has
was
to be
it
horrible
was
for that farmer.
it was 4 acres of fire.
Jesus Christ.
Because-
Man, imagine the firefighters having to put that bullshit out.
Dude,
Yeah.
they had Waco, Corsicana, Hubbard. They had like 5 different cities' fire department out there. They had a helicopter had to drive over and lay out on it. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like,
I would have been out there with some mayonnaise. And
no, I asked him, I was like,
You're like, "Can I get some of that popcorn?"
Oh yeah, lotes are good.
I asked them, I was like, so what do I do? Like, what can I do? Like, I'm stuck here until my boss gets out here, so what can I do? Because it was his truck. And he assured me everything was perfect on it. It was under his insurance. My name was put on his insurance as a company truck. And so I had to wait for him to get there. And they're like, I don't know, what do you... He's like, one of the firefighters was like, I'm hungry. You guys got anything to eat? And I was like, well...
As a matter of fact,
I said, we had like 20 mess ups, so I had 20 pizzas in the back seat. I was like, you guys can have at this. And they're like, yes. And all you see is the firefighters, what fire? To the pizza.
Jesus.
My boss shows up and he's just looking.
You know, like the local news is there. Like,
Right.
The firemen are working furiously to put out this fire.
And they're all back there eating pizza.
You have ranch?
Right?
Well, and that was the thing. Like, a news crew did come out, but one, I was in full Domino's uniform.
He couldn't be on TV.
Mm-mm. So the lady comes up to get an interview about what happened. I was like, look, you can't record or air me legally.
Yep.
And I was like, that means you can't record or air.
Capturing you on camera is hard enough.
I was like, you can't do anything legally with any of this footage because it's through Domino's.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh. And she did get up and leave. And I was like, I know what to say to you to get rid of you. And the
Yeah.
firefighter's like, holy crap, we just burned down 4 acres of a cornfield. I don't have to say anything to the media about it? Sweet.
I'm not even mad.
Right? That's impressive.
That's
But
impressive.
I met with the farmer. He lived about 30 minutes away, pretty much straight line from where I burned down his field. It was a dirt road about 30 minutes down. And he comes up and he's talking to me and he's like looking at the truck and he's like, holy shit. And he goes, what happened? I was like, I don't know, I was on cruise control at 75 miles an hour. And all of a sudden the back end just shoots up and then I see a ball of fire roll across the street. And the truck, I'm pressing the gas and all I hear is the motor going, wah. I was like, looking under the truck and there's no transmission, no drive shaft. It took the back axle with it.
God damn.
And it was just a big, and after they put the fire out, they get the tow truck, he comes and he drags the whole thing back up to the front. And it is literally the two back tires, the entire axle, the drive shaft, and the transmission. All still connected. And just rolled. And I'm looking at my boss, I'm like, you said this thing was good. I've had it for 2 days. I put...
You had his Volkswagen for like an hour.
Yeah. See, at that point, I would have been like, if you say this is my fault, I'm gonna
Right,
hit
I was
you.
about to slap.
But I told him, I was like, when's the last time the transmission fluid was changed? He goes, oh. I was like, okay, when's the last time the bearings were greased? Oh. When's the last time this vehicle had been serviced? And he goes, 3...
Yeah, so he's stuck
4
me in a
years-
death trap. And
4 years
sitting
ago?
me
And
out.
he was like, 4 years ago? And he starts scratching his head, and I was like, how many miles have been put on it since then? He goes, oh, we take it to Dallas every week.
Oh my god.
We go back and forth to Dallas every week with a trailer. And I was like, whew. 4 years, you haven't done shit to it, and you're driving to Dallas every week.
It's like, yeah, put the kid in the death trap. Nothing will happen.
But he's the one who took me to go get the Expedition. And he was like, here. And he was like, I'll let you go pick out a car for $5-6 grand. And he goes, that
And
would-
your silence.
And yeah, pretty much. It was like, you be quiet, I'll give you a vehicle for $5-6 grand. Take a pick.
It'd be like 7 or 8.
Like,
I'm
I got the
feeling real-
XLT package though,
Right?
right?
I'm feeling real chatty right now.
I mean, when I picked the Expedition, it was the Eddie Bauer fully loaded edition. Yeah, the inside was a little torn up. It was, the front was
They
bad.
make some nice strollers though, Eddie Bauer.
They do.
Right?
They do. They make good baby stuff.
Yeah, they make really
What?
nice baby
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
Eddie
Eddie Bauer
Bauer's a
makes
baby
some
company.
dope ass baby stuff.
When they team up with Ford, it's to basically childproof a vehicle.
Yeah.
All of the
Most
Eddie
of-
Bauer
most of our
edition
stuff is all
Fords
Eddie Bauer.
are like meant to strictly protect the back seat to the back end of the car so the children don't get hurt in it.
I need to do some research later.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that was interesting. Set the whole field on fire. The farmer wasn't even mad at me. He gave my boss an earful, and I think they had to cough up $48,000
Cool.
through his insurance for it.
God, how long did you stay working there after that?
I was there for 2 years. He actually promoted me the next day to the general manager for Corsicana.
For your silence.
Yeah, right?
He let me fire everybody in the store because I hated them all. Hire a whole new crew. He
That's
sent.
what he meant.
Silence.
Right? He was all like, well, none of them fucking set 4
Right.
acres on fire, so yeah, go for it. I don't care.
He was like, all right, because I was just assisting out there because they had lost their GM, their assistant manager, and 2 of their shift leaders in one day. All 4 of them quit. So he sent me, her ex, and my ex out there to help run the store, and then he made me the GM like a week later, tops, because the whole thing with the truck happened, and he was like, "All right, well, how does $9.75 a week sound?" I was like, $11.50. He was like, "Okay, fine, $11.50 a week." He was like, I was like, "Oh, and I get full hiring. You don't get a say." And he was like, "Okay." And he was like, because I had an issue with him at our old store. I had hired somebody who was 28 years old, but when he was 17, he was convicted of a felony murder at 17.
Kind of a big deal.
Okay.
I totally missed the
if
intro to what this part of the story
If
was.
you pull up his background, though,
Who was talking about?
a coworker I had hired somebody, and they were convicted at 17 of felony murder.
Okay.
They had
And
shot
you
and
knew this,
killed.
or
They had shot and killed
After you fired him?
No,
After you hired him?
I knew it when I was hiring him. He
Oh,
told
okay.
me, he was flat out honest with me. He's like, "I spent 3 years in jail for a felony murder at 17. I asked him, "Go into detail, tell me what happened." He's like, "I'm gonna find out with your background check anyway." And he's like, he started explaining it. He shot and killed his girlfriend, or his wife now's dad. Because he walked into their house, and he was staying with them, and her dad reached up and smacked the shit out of her and knocked her down the stairs. So he pulled out his gun and shot her. Or shot him, sorry.
I was
Because
everybody's just picking on that poor girl.
yeah, he said he walked in after work, and he opened the door, and he heard screaming outside, so he kind of sped walk, and he had grabbed his rifle out of the car because he didn't know what was going on, and when he got in, all he sees is her dad backhand her, and she falls down the stairs, and he just lifted the rifle and shot him.
Wait, he was carrying a rifle?
He had pulled it out of his car. So he was convicted of felony murder for 3 years, and he had to do 5 years of probation.
So many questions
But
that I don't feel we should discuss.
But I knew it when I was hiring him, and I hired him. Best worker I've ever worked with. Like, that I've hired. So, I hired him, one of the best workers ever. He did everything. He came in on his days off when people called in. He was there every second, every time he called them.
Yeah, because nobody else would hire him.
And he worked his ass off. And then the owner of the franchise was like, "You can't keep him." I found out why he was in jail. I was like, I knew why he was in jail.
Yeah,
And
I
he
think I
was
would have fired you too. I would have fired you.
He was like, well, we can't have a convicted murderer. And I was like, you mean someone who was protecting the person he loved?
See, but walking in with a rifle sounds different.
Well, wouldn't you think the same thing if your fiance at the time was just screaming bloody murder and you didn't know who was in the house, and then you just go in and just see, like, it doesn't focus in your mind that it's her dad?
I don't know, but he almost shot me the other day because I dropped the beer in the refrigerator. So, I'm
I
questioning
did.
the need for guns.
I did, though. We were sitting in here, and all I hear is
that's
a
when
loud...
we heard that.
Yeah, I hear a loud
Okay.
boom, and both of them were sitting here. I fucking cocked that gun and went out there, and I'm like walking around the house.
I swear to God,
And
if
Blue
that
had
shoots me, I'm going to be very angry.
No. I've been taught to identify my target before pulling the trigger.
That's a plus. But to be fair, according to everybody else, we keep our house very dark, and everybody says he looks black.
And not only that, you're more like you heard a noise in the kitchen. Like, what the
Blue,
fuck
if
is
I
somebody
tell you-
doing in our kitchen?
Blue-
What are they going to steal?
Blue, if I tell you to wiggle, just wiggle.
And we're gonna end it on that.
No, we got to use, well, that's one of the things that we always did with Mr. Red, too. Like, I think we got off of Band of Brothers. Did you ever watch that? HBO special? You know, they would say flash,
Yeah.
and then you're supposed to respond thunder, or else you're going to get fired upon.
Yeah.
All right, we need to come up with a code, guys,
Yeah.
for my safety.
Right? No shit.
4 in the morning.
The only one that's not walking around strapped, apparently.
I'm not.
I
Well, she's
don't.
got a pink gun and shit.
I don't. You can ask both of them. I hate carrying that thing around. Every time we go to town and he's like, "Take it with you," I'm like, "What's the point? You carry yours."
The only time I've seen her keep the gun on her at all times was the day they came to pick up.
Yeah. Big Mike.
Yeah, when the kid's mom showed up over here. She had that thing right next to her the entire time.
I was sitting in here with it, and Ray was like, "Are you gonna put that away?" I was like, "Nope," because when she came here, she had 2 dudes in the car with her, and I was like, "I don't know what they're gonna do, nor do I know what they're capable of doing. I don't know if they're gonna come in here and try to steal you, try to make up a whole scenario." I said, "So no, I'm not." She goes, "Is it loaded?" I was like, "Yeah, it is."
Blue would have come in and found blood all over here, be like, bad guys, dead bad guys,
I'll go get the shovels.
right? Dead bad guys.
It's like that sign I shared. This property is protected by Smith & Wesson, sponsored by Winchester, funeral arrangements made by Kubota.
Yeah.
And like Bash told Ray the other day, like before they even came here, he was like, "You don't have to worry about me shooting them." He said, "You have to worry about her." He's like, "She's 10 times of a better shot than I am."
She really is.
Even
My
with
spread is probably about that far. Hers is like
yeah.
needle tip width apart from each other.
Like when we went and shot the
So many jokes,
Yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
just let them all go.
Yeah.
when we went and shot the one that we gave Rudy,
Mhm.
my target, like mine was like a hairline thin apart, and he goes, "I would be terrified to get shot by you." I
Oh,
was
I'm
like,
proud that you can shoot like that. I'm thrilled of that because that means if I hand
I
you
was
a gun in
super
a
terrified.
crisis, I don't have to worry about it. You're gonna hit your target.
Yeah.
Now, if we had Hayden and that was my only other person to hand a gun to, I'm shooting the motherfucker myself because
Because I like
Hayden's
that
were
one.
like.
Not far apart.
Jesus
I was like,
He's like, and he kept going, "It's the gun. I can't get a control on the gun." I'm like, "But I can keep mine, like that." And Ash's are like Pennywise, penny thin.
Pennywise.
Right.
And
I had a scary dream about a clown the other night, but I can't remember it.
and then my grandfather was with us, and he had his 40 caliber Smith & Wesson. It's 1911. He's like, "Go shoot it." I'm out there and I'm shooting it. Fucking love that gun. And my accuracy was even better with that one. Hayden goes out there and his is even wider. And I'm like, "But you carry a 45 caliber handgun. I don't think if an opponent was 20 feet in front of you, you could hit it broadside of a barn with it."
He's gonna be that one that just does the outline.
He's like, he
standing
goes to
around like
be-
John Travolta and fucking Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Aiden.
Good.
But to be fair, he even admits the only reason he carries his handgun is to deter people. He doesn't have any intentions of ever.
See,
drawing.
everybody wants to get knocked out. Nobody wants to
well,
get
the
knocked out.
bullets his gun takes, they're not from here. Like you cannot buy them anywhere.
He has
in
to
the
special order them
US.
from Russia, and they have to go through.
I feel like we
ATF.
should edit this part out.
Yeah.
Hayden
Like,
has his FBI agent looking him up right now.
no, like if you don't know,
Hayden's FBI agent's
if you
like,
don't
yeah,
know,
we know.
Hayden was born in Russia.
Yeah.
His
That doesn't make it any better.
his dad was
You're making it worse.
his dad did something for the U.S. and Russia, and they're Russian, and they were moved back to the U.S.
Like Hell Hydra?
I don't know, but they
King
were
Cobra, man. All
they were moved back to the U.S. and Hayden got his citizenship and everything, but he's still Russian. Like,
his dual citizenship.
Like
yeah,
some,
it-
like
Just like Lee Harvey
oh
Oswald.
no,
I'm just saying.
he completely forfeited his Russian citizenship.
Just like Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm just saying.
like once you get to know him and like once you get to hear him talk and stuff, certain things he says, it's that full on Russian
Russian
accent.
accent, yeah.
And I'm like,
Okay.
Oh, and then if he gets
This is
mad,
one
he
thing I
starts
got
talking
from
in Russian.
Lord of War. Yeah, exactly. I was about to bring that up. In Lord of War, he says that like only in anger or in extreme pleasure do you refer like back to your native language.
Yeah.
that's like me when I'm like drunk. I'm full on like my southern accent just comes out and
Like what? Like an example.
like the other night when we were talking about pronouncing certain words.
Kill?
Kill.
Kill?
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, but other than or shoot him.
The way she says shoot him.
Yeah,
What do you mean, shoot him?
Say it again.
shoot him.
I don't know. It doesn't sound too different to me though.
It's got more of an
It,
emphasis on that O.
yeah,
Ew.
it's because my grandmother, she was born and raised over in Georgia, so it's really southern over there. And so when I grew up around her, she had that southern.
Put it in real words. She had the hick accent.
Yeah. And so that's what I grew up, hearing, and that's how I grew up talking. And then when he first met me, he hated it.
Really?
It's because I have the same accent. If I'm drinking, my accent will come out like
But-
that too.
That's funny.
And I do everything in my power when I'm talking to force that accent to stay away from me.
That's interesting.
Because I grew up in a house where everyone talks the same way, like that. Like, if, God forbid, and you probably will meet Shay. And it probably won't be too long, because he
Is
wants
that
to...
like your
It's my
other
younger
personality when you're drunk? Oh.
brother. No, it's my younger brother. He's coming out when the baby's born. But
Okay.
you're gonna meet him when he talks. That's it. Like, it's straight hick.
Yeah.
Also, he is racist.
Yeah,
Very.
it's like
Very
white.
racist.
Yeah, it's like white trash hit.
Yeah, and he walks around with a giant fucking cheek pouch
Pouch.
right
Nice.
here, because he takes an entire can and just shoves it into his cheek.
Oh, that means that means he's gonna meet Lee and.
No, he got the he uses the swallowable one now.
I'm talking about your
There's
stepmom.
something wrong with that swallow hole thing,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like the no spit chewing tobacco,
Yeah,
that has to
okay.
fuck you up quicker than normal chewing tobacco, because there's no reason you should be swallowing
Well, I mean,
that
every time I've seen him, seen Shay, yeah, he's either been asleep or he doesn't really have that much of an attitude, or he's not much of an asshole. Because I think how much tobacco intake he does,
The nicotine, no,
Take throughout
that's
the
why
day?
Shay dips, is because it keeps his mouth shut.
yeah.
Because Shay has no filter whatsoever, and he's like, I really try. No, you don't.
shit. I love
I know.
those guys.
He's like, I do though. I really try. That's why I just put a whole fucking can of dip in my mouth because I can't talk.
That's
That-
gross.
that's
Like,
why-
you can,
That's
like-
why when he told Shay about me, he didn't tell him I was part Mexican. He
No,
only
because that
told.
ends up with me and Shay fist
Oh
fighting.
wow, I did not know you were.
Really? Like, we've had this conversation.
I don't think we
multiple
have.
No,
We have.
because I'm like the whitest fucking Mexican you'll ever know, and
No, I've known white Mexicans.
Yeah.
and
Mike.
he was because of the incident.
I love how
Yeah,
you refer
like-
to it as the incident, though.
The incident he had with Shay with his ex-wife,
Oh, okay.
he was like, I couldn't go down that road again. He's like, so I just told him you're white. He's like, I can't tell
Yeah,
him you're Mexican.
I've told you that story, right?
No, I don't believe so.
My class ring with the stone missing in it.
Yeah.
It's
I don't-
because my brother called my
Oh, yeah,
ex-wife
yeah,
a
yeah,
spick,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they called my daughter a spick.
Yeah, I
and-
do remember
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember the part about your ring, though.
yeah, that's how I broke that stone out of it.
Um,
I didn't hit him with it.
well, what did you hit
I
there?
don't-
The
I don't
tile
even-
in the kitchen and shattered it.
I don't even think
He's all like, there's a random piece of glass like 12 feet away, broke
Right.
right through it, though.
I don't even think his dad or his mom or anybody else, I don't even think they know that I'm part Mexican
Ah.
either. I think they just all know that I'm white.
Yeah,
That's because
I've had
it
an
be-
ex like that, and okay, so I can maybe not. I guess I can understand it more. Like you're part of the country that you're from. Like yeah, Georgia and shit. Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But here we live in a border town, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're used to seeing Mexicans everywhere. I've had an ex's family come over and look at me like I'm the fucking help. And
Yeah.
I'm all like, nah, bitch. This is my fucking house, dude. I don't mow the lawn here. That's my fucking lawn. I pay one of y'all people $20 a week to do it. And it's just not that I can understand it or accept it, but it's different in
that's
areas
why-
like that than here.
That's why, as fucked up as it is, every time I see like one of the neighborhoods kids coming through and they're doing the front yard, they're like, oh yeah, such and such paid me. I just kind of laugh a little bit inside because I know where that's coming from. It's like, oh, if you only knew.
We need to see if we can get one of them to do the back right here.
Man, there's a lot of yard work that needs to be done.
Yeah, we were talking about
Ed
that.
Ray doesn't have anything to do all day. I'm just saying.
We also don't have anything for her to use on the yard.
Honestly, like I wouldn't want her back there.
No, I know.
No,
just
you
get
give her a
big old-
lawnmower and put her back there, we're gonna end up with shit going through the window. We'll
Yep.
even end up with
With-
cylinder block with holes in it somewhere.
With that little fucking Jumanji jungle
Cylinder
right
block?
there.
A cylinder block?
With that little fucking Jumanji jungle right there, you'll need the little tree cutters to cut down
No,
that
that's actually
tree.
a legit tree that's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And that's
And
what
it's
like you're
because the
gonna need.
water just
Yeah,
fuels the
it-
growth.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to cut that out because if it gets too big, it'll start tearing up the
Oh,
side
yeah.
of the house.
Oh yeah, you can. I think you can see the roots if you get under the house.
Yeah.
Well, all
But
you
that's
have to
it.
do
That's
is
our
just
other
dig
podcast.
Dig around it
Yeah.
and dig out the roots and everything.
That's Patreon content.
Honestly, I thought the video was over with.
No.
No, we're still going.
Yeah, no, we are
2
actually gonna
hours.
end it there though.
We're at 2 hours even.
Yeah,
now.
I gotta go to
2
work.
hours and 7 minutes.
All right,
But
guys.
I
guys,
should probably go to work.
yeah,
We'll hit you up later.
that's been tonight's show. So
Throw us your ideas, as far as our other platforms that we're considering, the
Yeah.
D&D, like your feedback for sure, the editing and stuff, that's cool, but still keep it live in a way.
Yeah.
That was good input.
Yeah.
Any board games that you could recommend us to? Like
Yeah,
anything that
definitely.
you're into that maybe we've never even heard of? Because
games,
like as far as
card
board
games.
games, I'm thinking like the basic shit. I'm thinking like Sorry, Uno,
Yeah.
you know?
How would we
So
play
if
Axis and
you
Allies?
know anything else that would spark our interest or at least spark your interest,
Yeah,
that we'd be
definitely.
definitely down to try anything.
Let's see who the best strategist is out of
oh,
us.
wait, you know that's me.
Strategist.
But guys, as always, I'm Mind Your Business 01,
Macaulay.
Got a bash.
Mr. Blue, no dammy.
and we'll catch you guys on Thursday. Until then, take care of each other, help each other, love one another,
Wear your fucking mask.
Be good humans.
both of us.